Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Midweek Mixup podcast. Obviously, I'm your host, WandrinDutch, and I'm here today with three panel members, three of the consistent panel members that will be here for the future. First of all, we have Forza Erwin. If you want to introduce yourself and let people know where they can find you, what you've been playing recently, and a little about kind of what you're up to, what platforms you play on, and so on.
Yeah, so I'm Erwin, maybe better known on Twitter as Forza Erwin. Big Forza fan, of course. I like all racing games in general. Actually liking GT Sport a lot since a while now. But that's a different subject. I game on almost everything. We have a Switch here in the home Nintendo Switch. Of course, Xbox. I'm a big fan. A big fan of the brand since the start, actually. But it all started with PlayStation for me, with the PS1 and then all the other consoles. And this generation, I was off and on with PlayStation. I think I got 4 PlayStations till now. Every time I got them for a while, didn't play on it seldom, and now finally I got a Pro again. I'm gonna keep it until the PS5 releases probably. So I'm just a more neutral gamer at the moment. But yeah, I'm bleed green from the inside.
GT Sport Erwin.
Yes, except now it's more Forza Erwin GT, I think.
Next we have Patjeuh. Patjeuh, if you want to introduce yourself, same applies, mate. Tell everybody where they can find you, what you're playing, play your favorite platforms. You know the score.
Yeah. What's up, guys? My name is Patrick, also known as Patjeuh070. And I mostly play on Xbox. A lot of you guys know me that I play a lot of PUBG, so that's the main game that I play. But also, I like Forza as well. That's one racing game that I really like. I don't have other platforms. I don't play on PlayStation. Well, sometimes when I visit Erwin. That's where I play most of it. And yeah, man, in general, I love gaming. I love all type of games. So that's it, man.
Happy days. And last but not least, Shomberlon. Same applies, mate. Introduce yourself, where people can find you, and what it is that you're playing and what you play these days.
Hey, yeah, I'm Shomberlon. Same name for Twitter, although I don't really post that much on there. I just normally lurk. I'm probably the old guy in the room. I've been gaming since the 80s, starting out on the Commodore 64. And going up to... Yeah, I am old. I remember having to stick a cassette into your machine and then go outside and play, and then come back and hope it hadn't crashed. That's true gaming. No. I've been lucky enough to pretty much own every platform growing up, minus like the PlayStation 3 was when I was out on my own, buying my own stuff from then. But I'm just an old gamer at heart. Primarily enjoy Xbox, is what I normally game on, but I got a PS4 Pro for the games I see that I like from the PlayStation side of things. What I'm playing at the moment, normally a fair bit of Apex Legends at the moment. Although I'm getting a bit tired I'm old. I don't like multiplayer anymore as much. So I've been going on to like single player or co-op is primarily what I like playing with friends. More of a social gamer than getting into competitive too much. But yeah, gamer tags, Shomberlon as well. That's about it.
Happy days. Pretty straightforward across the board then. Everyone's got the same gamer tag as they have name.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy days. Well, the first topic we're going to cover is the PlayStation event, which is very, very recent. First of all, we'll go to you, Erwin. What did you think of the PlayStation event?
I was really looking forward to the show at the moment when it releases, and then I was very enthusiastic the first half hour. It was almost like the guys at IGN said a couple of years ago, hit after hit after hit. But then after half an hour, it was Bugsnax level, which brought me down a little bit, and then they ended off really strong with Ryzen 2.
Yeah.
That looked amazing. By the way, a lot of games looked pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, the thing that's I'm the racing guy over here. Yeah, of course, GT7 was caught my eye. Really impressed. Probably the dynamic weather. Also, there was an old track that was coming back that I played a lot when I was younger, and it looked fabulous. A little bit popping still. It was quite disappointing. But some nice ray tracing, 60 frames, 4K. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I like GT Sport at the moment a lot, so GT7 only can be better. And Ratchet & Clank. Ratchet & Clank really impressed me. It's like a picture of movie quality. And then changing and warping into another world. That was super impressive. I believe that they also showed a Square Enix game, right?
It was an exclusive, but very, very early development. I think that one. We know what that's all about. We know what Square Enix are like with showing things far too early.
Yeah, so it's releasing on PS6 probably. But,
PS6, PS7.
Yes, launch title PS6. But
deep down from Capcom.
Yes, exactly. Yes, deep down looks actually quite impressive, huh? Back in the day. But no, so Square Enix title looked already impressive. And the Spider-Man Morales, I don't know what to think about it. I think it could be on PS4 as well, but I know it's just a market to draw in people to the PS5. They had the news now that they're gonna run on 60 frames. That's good news for people who like that game. I'm not that fond of Spider-Man. A couple of months ago, I just started with Spider-Man 1 or the Spider-Man PS4. And I wasn't so much into it. Maybe I just need to play it a little bit more, but it's not something I would get a PS5 for. And the looks of the console, man, I still cannot get used to it. I like the black version actually the best. That's made by fans. So that looks the best. The normal white one with the black contrast on it, I don't like so much. The controller looks very comfortable, but looks horrible.
It's big.
Yeah, it's big. It's not so.
I was doing a little comparison with the controller the other day. Actually, have any of you used the Nikon Revolution controller before?
No.
I've got standard PS.
Right. I've got the Nikon Revolution. Actually, I'll just jump off camera very quickly and show you the difference. It's pretty much identical to what I think the size of the DS5 controller is going to be.
Okay. I'm wondering if he blows into the controller also. If that's possible. You saw Jeff Kiley doing it, right?
So just for comparison, if you have a look at there's your DS4 controller right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Nikon Revolution controller right there.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, that's quite similar.
Yeah.
Can you blow? Can you blow in the controller also?
I can.
Yeah. Now it's complete.
There we go. DS5. DS5 controller.
But the show in general, I think it was a good 7.5 out of 10, and that's mainly due to all the crappy titles like Bugsnax. They had a couple really good ones, like I said, but 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, didn't blow me away completely.
Yeah. I've got to agree on that front. To be fair, I think I was expecting a little bit more from GT7. I think graphically, like you said, I think you expected a little bit more as well. They have included ray tracing. What that is in terms of how well that's implemented is another thing. I think judging by the trailer we're seeing for GT7 as well, there was obviously a few things that needed ironed out, like a lot of popping, of popping, and it wasn't just in one or two sections. It was starting to be noticeable in quite a few if you had a look through the trailer.
Yeah.
And in a racing game, especially one if it's meant to be anywhere from 60 to 120 frames, I fully expect them to push 120 frames on GT. It's their first-party racing title. As far as we're aware, the leaks for Forza 8 is that they will have a full 4K, 120 frames, ray tracing, everything absolutely shoved into that title to make it as good as it can be. I'm expecting GT7 to be as good. Fully. I really hope that they do push it into it, because I intentionally did not go into GT Sport based on the initial way they started that particular game. I don't think they started GT Sport very well at all.
No, agree. It was quite empty, the game. Also, not all the wheels were supported. I have a Fanatec CSL Elite. It wasn't supported at the beginning, which was quite disappointing. But they give the game a lot of life, so they updated with a lot of tracks, constant cars added almost every month. So now it's a full-blown game, even with a lot of campaign stuff in it. So now it's actually quite good. But at the time when it launched, I think it got a 7.6 or something out of 10.
Yeah,
on Metacritic. I think it was fair at the time. For now, I think it should be a lot higher. And it actually looks really good as well. But I think from the footage that we saw here, now you see the pop-in also in the tunnel.
It's on the.
Also the pop-in you see on GT Sport also when I'm playing it now. I think it's just it's just a little bit shinier version of GT Sport. What you just saw here, I don't believe this is a final.
That's what I think as well. I think there's a bit of polish to go. I think there's a bit of polish to go until that's finished. But are you expecting this to be a launch title, or do you think it's going to be pushed into 2021?
2021 for sure. Knowing Fliffany, the developers, they always take their time and they always try to delay it twice or something when launching a GT. So I don't believe it's a launch game, or else they would have said it also in the trailer, and they didn't. I expect at the end of 2021, when the user base of the PS5 is also a little bit bigger. That's what you see most of the time when the PlayStation is launching, that bigger titles launching later, and that's, I think, mainly due to the user base is growing then. So I think this is the earliest. I think 2021 at the holiday season.
I think the franchise itself deserves a reimagining. To be fair, I think it deserves being back up near the top. For the last few years, GT unfortunately took a backseat to how much Forza has progressed technically, not in the simulation side of things. As you know, as a sim racer, GT Sport still wins hands down. The feel of the game, the way the game drives, the way the cars feel. But in terms of aesthetics and the technical advancements of Forza, they're ahead of the game in that respect. So I think Forza need to compete more on the sim aspect of it, whereas GT need to compete more on the technical aspect and get kind of other things dialed in. And I think it's going to be a little bit closer this gen. It really depends on how much they've advanced in Forza 8 when that comes out. But
we will see tomorrow. Huh? I'm super excited. I think they already told us a couple things like a rubber in the track and stuff like that. Yeah. But I really hope, like you said, that they work on the physics and bring it just a little bit more back to real motorsport. I felt it was getting too much arcade, with all the SUVs and limos and all kind of cars in motorsport. It's just people want motorsport. If people want limos and all kind of crazy cars, they go for a drive in Horizon. Forza Horizon.
I think, like you said there, I think they've took too much of the car physics from Horizon into Forza 7.
Yeah,
and it shouldn't have been that way. They should have kind of separated the physics a little bit. But even then, you kind of want, especially if it's a real world racer, even if it's open world, I think they should still kind of stick a little bit more to the sim racing aspect of how cars feel. Yes. You know as well as we all do, you can't drift a limo around the corner really unless you're a pro racing driver. You certainly can't drift an SUV. You're not Ken Block. No one's Ken Block. There's very few people can do that. But in Horizon 4, you can just drift anything you want around the corner, and it's absolutely
any car.
No problem. Any car, truck. Absolutely anything.
And I think people are looking more and more to sim racing, like iRacing and R Factor and Assetto Corsa. Those are real sim racing titles, and they do actually quite well. And I think Forza Motorsport is losing its way a little bit. They want to attract the general arcade people, let's say, and they want to be a mix. But I think they've gone too far, and I think they should go more back to the sim part of it, and be a real motorsport title instead of a Sunday drive, let's say.
Yeah. I've got to agree there. Got to agree. Patjeuh, what have your overall thoughts on the PlayStation event then? I think we're seeing Ratchet and Clank here, or have we just seen Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, that's the one of the games that I really like. It's a pretty awesome game to see, especially the effects, the gameplay, the visuals. I really like those type of games. That's a +1 for me if I want to play a PS game. What Erwin says about Gran Turismo. If I need to compare like Forza Motorsport or Gran Turismo, I agree with Erwin, because Gran Turismo plays a lot smoother, it looks better, and I think that Forza Motorsport is a little bit behind on that. So I totally agree with Erwin, what he says. So yeah, that's
Finally, Pat.
Yeah, but I'm honest about that. I don't play a lot of Forza Motorsport. I mostly play Forza Horizon series. So, but the Motorsport that I played, and to compare it with Gran Turismo, I think Gran Turismo is better in a few ways for sure. So, and Ratchet and Clank, as you can see now, it's the type of game I really like. So I definitely want to give it a try if I can play it, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, one thing about games like this, and this is what I think a lot of gamers need to kind of open their eyes to, really, is you need variance. You do need variance.
Yeah.
You can't just be playing unbelievably serious games 24 hours a day, otherwise you'll get completely washed out with it all. If you're just going to be playing like adult games all day long, you're just going to get bored if everything's kind of the same stuff and you're just killing things all the time or shooting things all the time or having really deep conversations with characters. Sometimes you just need a bit of silly fun. And obviously, look at this. You're firing like flower guns at people and things and hosing them down with water. And
it looks really funny. It looks really good to play. So I like it.
And that's also what Phil Spencer said in his last interview with Polygon, I believe. He likes the diversity of the upcoming show. So I saw it coming back in a couple of interviews now already. So I think diversity is going to play a big role tomorrow. But that's maybe a different topic for later.
Well, I agree. Diversity is key. And I think if one thing you could take away from the PlayStation conference, I've got to agree with Erwin. It was about 7 out of 10 overall in general. But one thing you have to give them this time around, unlike previous shows where it's all been AAA, big, AAA, recycling the same things we've seen before. At least on this one, you see a variety of different games, variety of different size developers. It's from all family games, from brand new things, Spider-Man. I think there's a variety of different types of titles that they've actually brought to this time around. And one thing I did notice, which I don't think a lot of people have picked up on, and I don't know whether or not they're going to potentially save this for the show in August, no VR.
No, correct.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's now you say it. You didn't see anything about that. That's right.
None. They haven't even mentioned. I mean, they've showed the peripherals going into next gen. They've showed the charging dock. They've showed the controllers. They've showed kind of headphones. They've showed cameras,
the remote control, and that kind of stuff. No.
Everything but VR.
I posted it on Twitter also after the show. I think the day after or something, or a couple of days after on Twitter. And then somebody made the comment, why do you want to show the PSVR 2.0? Because probably it's in the making, huh? And he said they're just going to do a different show on that. So they're going to do a side show purely focused on PSVR 2.0. Maybe that's a good thing to do. and that they want to focus now more on the PS5 and the games that are coming for that. And if you want to introduce or launch a new peripheral like PSVR, that you have a separate show for that, right? So you have all the attention drawn on the virtual reality glasses. And I thought it was a good comment that I didn't think about it as well. To look at it like that, and they're probably gonna release it, but it's also not clear when. It's in development, clearly. But how it's gonna look like, and is it gonna be wireless and stuff like that? It's those things we don't know.
I think what we kind of picked from that as well is, especially VR over the last few years, PlayStation have been the first to go into console VR. It's obviously done well, probably not as well as people would like to think, but a few million units out of the kind of player base is still very good for a first attempt at doing VR. But to really get people to drawn in to VR, you need the price point. I think the price point was a sticking issue with PSVR. It was the cost of the console to get VR. When it first launched, it was either, do you want the console or do you want the VR? If you buy both, you may as well invest in actual VR.
Yeah, it sets you back, I think, €1,000 or something like that, right?
When it first came out, If you take everything together, it was like console, VR, everything. It was like €1,000. What you're right, it was about 1,000, and that's not like the highest fidelity version. And we all know in VR, if it's not, and you need at least anywhere between 4K to 8K per eye for it not to get eye strain, for no motion sickness. You need really high frame rates, and I think, going into next gen, if they want to push on VR, I think frame rates shouldn't be an issue for them now. But I think specifically it'll be down to resolution and making sure fidelity and screen tearing and everything's gone, and for the motion sickness is ruled out. But I think it's more kind of a quality of life enhancement than anything else for the VR. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But
I tried it a couple times. Did you guys try the VR already?
Yeah, I've tried it a couple of times. I've tried different variants as well. So I've tried HTC Vive, of PlayStation VR, and even the lower end forms like Gear VR, Samsung. All offer different experiences, different levels of experience. But it is good. But for me, I've got bad eyes anyway. Every now and again, I have to put glasses on, things like that, and I've got a history of glaucoma in the family, so. For me, I can only play for a short period of time when things are like this far away from your eyes.
Just getting blurry.
It's more eye strain, especially if you play for that long with screens pressed against your eyeballs. You just end up with eye strain.
Hey, there it goes.
Yeah, you saw that? It was like it was falling off, man.
It's the same dude on YouTube, right? What's the name that we were checking out lately?
It's good he's wearing a helmet, so it breaks his fall, right?
This is scary, but
no, we talked about Gran Turismo and Ratchet, but what also caught me the eye was Oddworld Soulstorm.
Yeah.
Because that brings back memories. And that game caught my eye for sure.
True.
So I really like that.
It's much. I mean, Oddworld was never a very cheerful game in the first place, but it seems to be a lot more grim. This next one a lot more gritty. Obviously, it reminds me a little bit more of Pikmin or Lemmings.
Oh, Lemmings.
Definitely Lemmings. Where you kind of lead an army of lemmings to their death.
I get that tune stuck in my head sometimes.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I told you. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, but any final thoughts anyway, Patjeuh, on the PlayStation event?
Well, the beginning was pretty good with the games that they bring out. Like the middle of the conference was, it was wasn't that interesting. But the end, like Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, they ended really good on the conference. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
also the review of the console. Yeah, I really like the design. And yeah, as you know, like on social media, people making jokes about it and stuff, so it overall, I think,
You even made a meme out of it, right?
yeah, exactly.
With the single rider. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So, but it's for fun, and but overall, I will like, for the conference, I will give like a 8 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah,
So
I think I mentioned on the back of that as well. At the very end of the conference, I think the first thing I said was Horizon Zero Dawn relatively, and to a point, saved that conference. I think that reveal, leaving it to the last minute, was given something the fans wanted. I think all the way through it was more kind of new reveals, not so much fan favorites, should we say. Demon Souls, of course, everyone loved that, but it's still the whole Dark Souls, Demon Souls genre is very niche still. It sells well, but there's a very few amount of people that actually get through those games and finish them. Let's face it. I'm not the type of gamer that likes to get unbelievably frustrated all the way through a game. I'd rather just enjoy the game, and it's so Demon Souls, Dark Souls, they're not really my forte, but I can see why people get hyped for it, especially if they love that genre. But Horizon Zero Dawn at the end was the icing on the cake. I think anyone who's played Horizon can see kind of the potential of that franchise, so it's a good one to kind of certainly get into.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Shom, your thoughts? I know you've got a nice little write down for you here, so let's go at it.
I really enjoyed the event. Yeah, there was the middle bit that was very, very slow, a little bit dull. Your bug snacks, is it? Your bug snacks and your Sackboy, things that I'm not overly interested. I know Sackboy is quite popular among some PlayStation users, but for me, I'm not all that bothered by it, and I don't even know what that Dragon High, whatever it was.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that kind of perplexed me a little bit as to why those were in there. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a great thing. Starting out with GTA 5 was another I thought was a bit of an odd choice.
Correct.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, GTA 5, three generations of GTA. It's a great game, but 3 generations, really? Come on. But from then onwards, I thought it was really good. Spider-Man, I'm interested in. I don't know quite what the length and everything is. You've got people saying about it being an 8 to 10 hour game, which I'm all right with, pending on price. If they wanted me to pay full price, especially if the prices are going up, then I'll wait for a drop. But I still need to finish Spider-Man 1. I've got that on. I got PS Now to play it.
I mean, how far have you got into Spider-Man 1 so far?
I got right to the end, and then they took it off PS Now.
Oh.
It was only in there for 3 months.
So
for 3 months.
How much would you think? Well, how many hours would you say you've put into the first one so far?
Oh, too many. This is what I hate about open worlds is the OCD kicking in, where it's like you have to do every little thing. So I was clearing every section of the, side quest and everything.
If you took that into mind then, and then put that into context of a much shorter version of that original game, what would you think about that? If for instance, you say you've played potentially, even if you just say in the opening section, potentially 15, 20 hours, if you include searching everything and going around everything, and then shorten that down and blunking it into about 10.
If everything, if it was a case of do everything and, collect everything, you're looking at a 15 to 20 hour game, that'd be fine again if it was a lower price.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the price of, was it Lost Legacy?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cheaper, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So if you're looking at that kind of thing, I'm completely fine with that. That it'll be great. And I'm not really big into the Spider-Man or the Spider-Verse kind of thing, so I don't really know much about Miles Morales. I watched the animation.
The animation movie.
Fantastic film.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I'm keen to know more about this character. So I thought that was a really good way to start. Ratchet and Clank. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank, but looking at that, I'm interested. Like you were saying, it's the
funny thing is, I've picked Ratchet and Clank up on sale months, if not last year, some point last year. I haven't played it yet. I'm guilty of that. I've got a mountain of games on PlayStation that I haven't even looked at. Haven't even started or looked at yet. I'm really guilty of this. I've got Shadow of the Colossus remake. Haven't played it. Haven't even turned it on.
I want to play that as well.
I bought. What did I buy? Secret of Mana. I bought Secret of Mana, and I played about 5 hours of it. But anyway, moving on. Ratchet Clank. I'm really interested in that. It looks fun. It's just mindless fun. I like mindless fun games at the moment that I don't have to think too much about. Project Athena. That looked really interesting. That was but like you said, that was the Square Enix. Yeah. So we'll see how that comes out. But first impressions, it piqued my interest, and I think that would be a solid title if it looks as well as I hope it's going to look play. What was the next one? I think I'll probably get a bit of flack for this, but I quite like the look of that cat game. Stray. Simply because it just looks like it's just a really mindless, just chilled out
game. I suppose it depends. It depends because what we've seen is chilled out. It could go either direction.
Yeah, I think it helps me. I have 6 cats at home, so that might sway me.
That's the reason why.
6 cats and a dog is in my house. But it looks like a really relaxed game in the same way as what is it called? I was playing it a while ago. A Night Call. Have you seen that on Game Pass?
No, not yet.
Night Call. Yeah, I've seen it, but didn't play it. So
it's kind of more of a text-based game, but it's just something you can sit down to, relax, not really think, play half an hour, put it down, and go away, and then come back and. It's just a really mellow game. It is a really mellow game, and I kind of see Stray as being the same thing. It's just something just really chilled out. It could be
check it out.
It could be
And this game, what you see here, this one I forgot actually. Kina. This is also one.
Kina,
really this looks really good. Is this multiplat or is this going to be exclusive?
Maybe timed. I don't know.
I think it's
I heard a lot of being timed, but I don't know which are which. But this is definitely on my.
And it's cross-generational. This one, it's one of the only titles that is cross-generational. This is PlayStation 4 and 5.
Ah, right, okay.
Oh wow!
It's got a cameo vibe to it.
Yes,
a cameo.
It's also very much DreamWorks Pixar feel to it.
It does. It looks right up my street. What was the other one they showed before? Returnal. That was quite interesting as well.
I'm not sure what to think of that. I'm not sure what to think of it. I think that's again, it's another one of those titles, very much like the new Capcom game that was unveiled at the third-party event for Xbox with the guy in the spacesuit. Forgot what the name of that one was.
The guy in the space.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the guy from The Walking Dead.
Yeah. It's very much in my eyes the feeling of kind of both companies going down this, especially with Returnal. It's 2 very, very spacey games, and that new game again to do with what kind of looks like an Inception-y type thing where the world's collapsing in on itself.
It'll be a game that'll do amazingly well or it'll fail. I think it'll really hit.
Here's your favorite game.
Volcano High. That's it. Volcano High. Oh my! What is this? Comes from somebody who's not a very nice person either. So anyway,
this is a furry's wet dream, isn't it?
Yeah. Skipping over this kind of thing. 2 games that I kind of was like, okay, but not 100% sold on was Ghostwire Tokyo and Godfall. But Godfall's probably more to do with, do I have somebody to play it with? It's not something, you know what I mean? If I don't have a co-op partner or group, then I probably won't pick it up.
No, it's something that you get bored of pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah. I think it's made for co-op, and I think in a co-op setting, I think it'll probably do really well. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think there are a lot of people will enjoy that kind of thing. What else was on my list? Hitman 3. Say no more. I love Hitman.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic games. I love Hitman. Although I was listening to somebody's after show, not report, but talking about it. And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know it was Hitman." It's like I knew within about 3 seconds of hearing Diane that it was Hitman. How do you know? He said, "Oh, I've loved Hitman since the beginning. It was fantastic." I was like, "How did you not know?"
Thought about it as soon as you started seeing them wandering through the trees. I thought
I heard Diane the handler's voice, and I was like, "Is that thingy? Is that Diane?" The thing is Burntwood, I think.
It's the closest you're going to get to a new Splinter Cell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons my avatar is. Do you remember like Conviction before it was Conviction? Like, it went through a bit of a development hell. And my picture that I've got is Sam Fisher from the original Conviction before they changed it to more of an action-y type thing.
Yeah.
I think he looks quite gruff and it's quite fun. But yeah, the Hitman, I love Hitman. I think they're great. I love those games. Even Absolution, which is a bit more of an action-y type game. I still enjoyed it. It's still not quite kind of the classic Hitman or the individual missions like you've got with the new trilogies now. Yeah, the new trilogies. But I still
what did you make of the episodic version of the last one?
The first one, I liked them, but it irritated me that it was episodic. So I played the first and the second missions, and then I waited until they're all out because I couldn't be bothered playing and then having to wait 5-6 months or whatever it was for the next episode. So I just waited, and I'm glad number 2 was just all in one package.
Yeah.
Played it.
That Pragmata, I don't quite know what to make of. The guy in the spacesuit with the girl. Classic Capcom, I think. It's just they do like to keep you kind of going, what the hell is this? And you can't even actually tell from what they showed what type of game it's really going to be.
No idea, absolutely no idea so far. But I've got that vibe from quite a few games recently where they kind of showing things off, and you think, I'm not sure what it is, but it looks interesting. And as long as it looks interesting, I think that's the key. I think
that's what the job of the whole thing is for, is not to give everything away. And it's just like, okay, well, I'll keep my eye on that. I'll think about that. The next conference is, are they going to show this? Are they going to tell me more about it? Kind of thing. And then finally, Resi Evil. I enjoyed number 7, even though it was first person. I was kind of like, it's a new twist. It was a fun game. It scared the crap out of me in some bits. I tried it on VR when I went to see my brother, and that was weird. That was a little bit weird. I haven't made up my mind if I like that or not.
Did a little bit of tea come out? Was it that kind of weird?
It was just a bit weird because my brain because I knew the game from playing it classically, to then trying to get my head around about looking around and the controls. It took me a little bit, and I'm a little bit like you, Dutch, in that I can't have the VR on for too long. I start to get a headache, and
I get nauseous also. I
didn't get nauseous. I mean, I played the rally game, and that was, even though I completely sucked, it was so hard to play in VR, the rally game. I didn't get nauseous, but just after a bit, having the screen so close to my eyes kind of gave me a bit of a headache.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to agree there. I've got to agree. I think, and obviously, overall, if you're kind of judging the conference as a whole, Sean, what would you kind of? I wouldn't say rate it. I think obviously we can rate it kind of 7s out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, and things. But how would you judge the conference if you're a consumer, like a neutral consumer, thinking of getting a new console next generation? Would that persuade you? Would that interest you?
I think it would. Yeah. I mean, I'd give it a solid 8. Barring the lull in the middle, which I'm hoping Xbox doesn't have tomorrow, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did. Most conferences do tend to have a little slow section.
No.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, ending on Horizon was a good choice. I think everybody knew that was happening. It was a pretty bad kept secret. I think it's going to be the same with Fable. Everybody knew it was coming, and that's what everybody was waiting for. And it looked really good. It did look really, really good. I enjoyed the first one. I know a lot of people say it was boring and things, but I enjoyed it. It was a good game. It was something different. So yeah, that's definitely something I'll pick up. The console form itself, I'm not a big fan of, but it's going to be on my shelf behind my TV, so I'm never going to see it. So don't bother me.
I'm still figuring out how it's going to. I was going to say I'm still figuring how it's going to fit under my TV. I might actually have to move my shelf down a bit.
Well, I've just shifted everything. I'll show you the picture before the stream. I've shifted everything upstairs into the spare bedroom, and I've actually got like a metal shelf behind the TV where my Xbox is at the moment, and that's where the PlayStation want to do. I'm not going to be able to afford to get a PlayStation day one, unfortunately. I probably don't have the time as well, but that's where that will go. So I'm not bothered by the form factor. It's more like you, since they're trying to figure out how to get it in a good place where it's going to. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about ventilation and things like that, and the cats not knocking it off.
Well, I don't think you can have a worry there. From what I've heard,
but if they do, I'd be worried about them killing it.
From what I've heard, I think the console is going to be around about 7-8 pounds in weight.
Flipping heck.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a chunky thing. But yeah, overall, I'm quite interested to see the controller. Because that's one of my big grievances with the PlayStation is for me the controller always feels a little bit plasticky and a little bit small. And I'm quite happy to see it change and be a bit bigger, a bit bulkier. I can't say I've got the biggest hands in the world, but they're still a little bit too big for the PlayStation as it is.
Yeah, well, like I say, obviously with them, that's kind of a good rough idea as to what you can expect with it.
Yeah, I'm expected to have the similar feel to the Xbox controller now in terms of bulk.
Yeah.
So I find my hands cramp up a bit playing too long on the PlayStation. But
I would say that the Nacon's got a good feel to it. Obviously, you've got to ignore the fact that the Nacon still has offset sticks, which is what you're going to get. Obviously, you're going to be kind of playing more in the center, but in terms of actual grip, it's certainly more Xbox variant, which is obviously a lot of people still prefer that. But you're still going to have those centered sticks. So it really depends. I think I've heard mixed things about how the controller feels in terms of being still centralized with those sticks. With the controller being bigger, but then the sticks are more centered. I think it might cause more of a cramping issue in terms of how far away you are from them sticks now when you're doing this.
It depends on the size of your hands as well, right? I mean, like I know you're a little bit smaller than I am, right? Just a tiny bit. but my hands are quite big, and I actually prefer a bigger controller. This DualShock 4, I get cramps also a little bit when playing shooters, especially when aiming, right? So your left finger. That really gives me cramps, and I expect with this controller it's going to be a lot less. So I would like to test the feeling before I buy it. And I saw also in the UK they're going to set up some test locations, right, in some stores. I saw a picture
that's a good idea.
Man, that would be nice if they do that in the Netherlands as well. But then disinfect the controller really good. So then you can see it's waterproof as well. But it would be nice to hold it in your hand. And normally when there was no COVID problems, I always go to Gamescom and then I could test the new controllers and new stuff like that, right? So that's not possible anymore. So I hope we still can have a possibility to test some stuff prior to the release. Yeah.
I hope this gen PlayStation come out with their own Pro variant. I really hope they come out with their own Pro variant. They need a new
like
Pro
the Elite.
Yeah, they need. I really need something that's a little bit. I mean, this can obviously their new DS5 controller has got a lot of new features, but it still hasn't. I mean, in terms of competitive gaming, they need to come out with something. You've got to think as well. There's a lot of PlayStation players, or a lot of tournaments still side with PlayStation for gaming tournaments.
Yeah.
And they have to always resort to scuff to get their pro controllers with paddles and everything on. And then they brought out that little additional $20-$30 addition that you can click onto the controller, which is now not going to work because you need a DS4 controller to use it, and not the DS5 controller, so you can't use that attachment anymore. Whereas Xbox have got either the normal, or if you want the Elite Series 2, when that one comes down in price again, then you can pick up the Elite Series 2, and that works perfectly fine with the Series X. They've got both avenues
happy
covered.
about that.
Yeah.
I've only recently got the Elite 2, and I wouldn't have bought it had it not been going forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think they saw the example of Xbox doing it well with the Elite, because it's sold pretty well. It like over 1 million with the Elite one, right?
Yeah.
And if you see the price tag, I don't think it's bad business also. And Sony is not crazy, yeah?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they probably will release one. And it will be nice if they do, because I like the Elite controller a lot. And also to have the possibility to just tune it a little bit, right? Especially with the Elite 2. I think it's a very good thing if they do. It would be nice.
Yeah, be a good addition. I think next we're moving on. We've got the Ubisoft conference.
Yeah, man.
Did everybody manage to catch that conference? Did everybody see what was going on there?
Well, I did a recap this afternoon, real quick, on YouTube, like putting all the highlights, because I did miss that conference last time. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was pretty awesome. I really liked Watch Dogs Legion. It's a pretty awesome game to see it, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna play it on the Xbox. That's for sure. One day I will get it. So, but I need to also get.
What did you like about it, Pep?
I really liked like I played Watch Dogs 1, 2 I didn't play yet, but with the first version, I don't know, it's kind of interesting, all the hacking and stuff, and yeah, that's what I pretty like, because it's like back in the days also like GTA, so it's like it's you can compare that like that, but with Watch Dogs you have like more options to do and more kind of things, so that's pretty interesting. And with the Legion coming out, yeah, I really like that game. So
I think also it's not too ambitious.
Yes, with all the characters, right?
Yeah. That's true. That's something they didn't need to add at the conference, with all the characters, explanations, and that kind of stuff. That was pretty.
I feel exactly the same as you. I think that the far too long going into every character. I didn't need to see that much detail.
Yeah,
a couple of characters, a couple of things, and then kind of you get a rough idea as to, brilliant, okay, so every different individual person we're going to go through is going to have different abilities. That's kind of explains it a bit more. I didn't need to see 10 people going back to the start of the situation, going all the way through that character, looking at that character, his start. Didn't need to see that. I think it was a little bit too much. Maybe it's a little bit.
The idea is cool, though.
To show it off.
Yeah, I like the idea. What they did, I think it gives you a lot of new dynamics in the game, which is nice. But it was dragging too much in the show, and it was unneeded, in my opinion. But I like the new gameplay mechanics, because it gives you a lot of more options and possibilities to play depending on your playstyle, right? And I always like to sneak up a lot, and don't always go blazing. Depends also how your mood is, of course. But this game gives you the opportunity or the possibility.
Nobody's going to go John Wick.
Yes,
yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So I know Shom had some thoughts as well written down for Watch Dogs. I've seen various parts of that. What's your thoughts?
You've seen bits of it. again, I'm not overly taken by it. I wasn't a big fan of the second one. And again, like I said, it might be a little bit too ambitious. We'll see, because I mean, Ubisoft are known for the best part of a decade of showing something that's really good that never actually pans out. Like even with the first Watch Dogs, I enjoyed the first Watch Dogs despite the massive downgrade to it. I actually quite enjoyed. I said before with the hacking, I thought it was quite a good story with Aiden Pierce and everything. Yeah, and then the second one I just thought was, I don't know, it just didn't resonate with me. The big issue is October the 29th. This is going to be put on the back burner with Cyberpunk coming out around about the same time. So it's
bye Watch Dogs.
Yeah, it's not something I'm going to really be bothered about. It'll probably be something I pick up in a sale, pending on other people's reactions. I'm not a big kind of like, oh, what do the reviews say? But if everybody's unanimously saying it's fantastic or it's meh, then I'll take that into consideration. Like I said, yeah, I think it might be a little bit too ambitious, maybe, or it could be really, really good. I'm open, I'm open for it to be really, really fun. I'm not kind of like saying no, it looks crap right now. A big issue, well, not an issue, but it's a pet peeve when it comes to games being made in the UK. Is it's always London, and you've either got a Benedict Cumberbatch voice or a Ray Winston stroke Peggy from EastEnders, proper Cockney kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the middle. It's always like proper hammed up acting, which that might grate on me a little bit, but that's just my own pet peeve. That is just my own pet peeve. I'd like to see something outside London. The UK has got decent cities: Manchester, Glasgow, Edinburgh.
Glaswegian.
Glasgow would be awesome.
That'll be a different type of game altogether.
I spent 6 years up in Glasgow. I love Glasgow. Glasgow's amazing.
You won't have weapons. You'll just have bottles.
But they're nice. They're nice people, Glaswegians, despite them having. Glasgow held the safest city and the most dangerous city in the world at the same time, in Europe. Sorry, at the same time. How you figure that out? But yeah, I'd like game companies to expand outside London.
Yeah, I think the problem you've got there, though, is worldwide. I mean, you can go anywhere, but worldwide, London's
there has to be a recognition.
Yeah, everybody. That's the first thing anybody thinks about when they say UK. They ask you how far away from London you are.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing I realised about Horizons 4 is being able to go around Edinburgh. I sent you a picture, didn't I? Because I was in Edinburgh. I was getting my visa for when I went to China, and I sent you a picture of the main street. In Edinburgh. So yeah,
I think I did the same as well. Yeah, I actually there was an Audi R8 parked right.
Oh
beside
I remember that
big monument. I was like, oh, look at that, Forza.
Another thing,
I remember
near the Glenfinnan Viaduct. The Harry Potter Bridge.
Yes.
I live not too far from there. So it's
really?
nice, kind of being kind of in the area that I live a little bit. Although there's a massive difference between how close it is in game. But yeah, just kind of recognizing places local to me. I think it was quite good in Forza Horizon. But anyway, we digress.
And what have we seen next? I think it was a mixture, really, wasn't it? We had that Battle Royale game. What did everyone think about that? The new one.
It doesn't.
Hyperscape.
For me, nothing.
Oh, Hyperscape. Yeah, I've seen some guys on Twitch play the Hyperscape, but I think it's too. I don't know. It's you can compare it like with Apex. I don't know if it's a competition to Apex, but for me it's not the type of game I want to play because it's all too. I don't know. It's too chaos for what I saw.
Yeah.
So
sensor overload type thing.
Yeah.
I think for me, because I do like Apex, I've probably put way too much time into Apex. I if it's free to play, I'll give it a shot. If it's a full price game, I probably won't.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, agree. And I think they will go for free to play because most of them are, right? So
Yeah. I mean, even like PUBG is, we can get it on Game Pass and PS now. Plus, it was dirt cheap when you did buy it. I mean, I bought it for like about 18 quid or something like that.
And this game was mobile only, or was it also on console?
It's PC beta, but I think it is coming to console.
Yeah, it's on beta right now on PC.
Okay.
And it's, if I'm correct, and like what Sean says, it's coming to the console as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's just in beta for testing and things on PC at the moment. It should kind of
I'll give that a go because that will give me a good indication of whether I'm going to bother with it.
Yeah. I think like you say, and also, even though it's in beta at the moment, is it going to be free to play? Is it going to be a purchase?
Yeah,
that really for battle royales, that really does boil down into where when it does well to compete. PUBG had the benefit of being one of the first big battle royales that came out, where people purchased it. After that, it was Warzone and Apex. Apex had the benefit where it was dropped suddenly and it was free.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Pick it up and play it.
Yeah, that was
Warzone was a free addition to Warfare, and then came as an entirely free download separately anyway.
But they will make money on microtransactions anyway, so probably it's going to be free to play, right? Because they make more money with microtransactions than actually asking money for a game, let's say. So I think it will be free to play, and then they ask a lot of money for all the cosmetics and noob skins and stuff like that. If I see my son playing Fortnite, every time he buys something, what the hell, I don't know, but he's talking about skins and weapons and stuff like that. And those kids spend a lot of money. My nephew also. It's crazy how much those kids like to spend money like it's nothing. I think that's what they're aiming for with this game as well. It's a little bit kiddie style, right? A little bit cartoony style. Not as serious, so they're probably going to aim for that. And
that's a good point that you've just brought up, because with the whole loot boxes and whatnot, UK law is they're just about to pass them as not being illegal, but they're going to have to be rated, I think 18 at least, because it will be counted as gambling. Whether that will affect, if it's I don't even know what the now is it PG? Well, that's film, but you know what I mean. For younger audience, are they aiming purely for a mature audience, or is there going to be a younger element like you have with the Fortnites and the Apexes? Because otherwise, that whole gambling loot box, especially in the UK, might be a bit of an issue for them.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just literally just been passed as well, hasn't it? That they essentially officially call it gambling. The only time it isn't gambling is things if you take loot boxes out of it, like PUBG do, you buy skins specifically.
Yeah,
so you know exactly what you're getting
around it. But even then, I mean, that's what one of my biggest gripes with Apex is just the monetization of it. I think it's just ridiculous. It's almost like 15, 16 quid for a skin. 50 so for your legendary of anything, it's 15 or 16 quid, and that could be a gun skin, a character skin, a finishing move, a banner, 15 quid for a banner.
That's crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
And people buy it. That's the crazy thing, but it's just a business model. It's a business model, and they see it's working.
I mean, I've put a fair bit into Apex. I've probably paid more than the full price game for it because I don't mind because I play it that much. But if everything was cheaper, I'd probably buy more. But I'm not paying.
Exactly. That's
as long as you enjoy it. See, I don't think anybody, and this goes, I think, for pretty much everyone in gaming, no one really minds having to buy skins. And if you really like the color of a weapon skin or an outfit, you don't mind buying it if you just want to look cool. That's fine.
But you like the game, and then it doesn't matter how you spend it, right? I mean, it's for a racing game also with all the DLC with the cars. You just want to have it, and because you love the game, and then you spend money in it. And they have all the
True.
data to support them to make such business model, and it's
all,
smart.
We all know it's not essential. I mean, we know full well going into that I don't need this skin for it, but I want to look cool.
Yes.
I don't need this car because most cars drive the same, but I want that car.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. It doesn't change your gameplay, but maybe you look scarier to your opponents, but you know that's about it.
It depends. Because I had a skin on once, and one of the guys I play with, he's like, "You need to take that skin off." I was like, "Why?" He says, "You look like a Christmas tree in the dark here. You're just lighting up, flashing." I was like,
"Yeah."
See,
but you like to change.
That conscious effort in PUBG though to change, especially if depending on map, you have to change the outfit you're wearing. You can't go into like a green map covered in white.
But Pat is changing every match, so and every time we look different when I play together. It's incredible. Different shoes, jeans, everything, man. It's incredible.
I don't know what it is with me. Like I need to change my character all the time. Like, you know, I buy the season pass every time it comes out. You got so many different kind of outfits, and I don't know. It's like I said, it doesn't change your gameplay, but it's funny to show what you have. You know, like it's that's one of the reasons why I buy it. So.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the concept of buying skins and whatnot. That's completely fine. I've bought skins when they've been in sale. Or the good thing that I like about Apex is that you can then get crafting material, and then once you've got a certain amount of crafting material, you can then craft whatever you want for free. Oh, well, not for free, but use the crafting material. So which is good. I don't mind that, but 15 quid, man. No.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. It is.
But overall, guys, the Ubisoft show. That you thought it was? I think it had two heavy hitters for me. That was like the one that we said, Watch Dogs, and also the Valhalla. I think the Valhalla was quite disappointing or something. It didn't blow me away like it had with the first trailer. Didn't look too great. It stuttered. I don't know. I wasn't that impressed. I'm asking the Viking here, the one who
he's got a big smile on his face.
What did you thought about it?
I have to agree. I don't know what it is that they were showing it on, but graphically it didn't look any different to what we've already seen previously for
maybe less
Creeds.
Maybe less compared to Odyssey, because Odyssey is like super gorgeous, and this I saw, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's partly to do with the scenery. I think if you have Odyssey's based in a very luscious, very vibrant, bright Greece. Now you go to the north of England.
And that's pretty
north of England and like medieval times.
Darker.
Where it's all mud and gore and rain. And they've actually, if they have got York in there as well, and down is Jorvik.
Have they got Lindisfarne?
They have, they have.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I think the people that have had a chance, I was watching a few of the different kind of YouTubers and things like that have had an opportunity to play the game, and they've said, whilst playing through Jorvik, it's very much English weather, so it does rain a lot. It's very overcast. It is pretty when you get to some of these other English towns that have got a little bit more greenery and a lot like more flowers and things like that. But a lot of it is very grimy and very much kind of the heat of war, shall we say. In terms of fighting, the one thing I am glad about is that it is very much more brutal. You are beheading people. There is a lot of gore in it. There is a lot of amputations and things like that. It's how it was then, as opposed to like in other Assassin's Creed games, you're having a fight and you'll kill someone and they just fall over. There's no blood or guts or anything like that. It's just damage and die.
It's more John Wick. It's more John Wick style, like we talked about.
Yeah. But I think they missed the trick. I think as well. I don't even think they used. Did they even use an eagle as the bird, and they didn't use a raven?
Yeah.
Which is a bit strange. I'm not sure why they didn't use like a raven. That's synonymous with Norse or Norse lore.
No.
It's a very
But
odd sidestep. In terms of gameplay, it's a lot yet to be seen on the game and what you can do with it. I think a lot of it stayed very true to the formula of the last two games, Odyssey and Origins. And if people love playing them, I think they're going to love playing this one. I don't think the map's going to be anywhere near as big. Graphically, I don't think even we've seen it. We've seen it playing on PC, but I don't think we've seen any of the ray tracing elements. I don't think we've seen the game at full tilt yet, and I don't know when we will. To be honest, I'm not sure. I think we're going to have. I don't even think the patch for Series X, PlayStation 5, or whatever. I don't even think that's ready to show off yet. Personally, I don't think that's ready to go.
Okay.
When it's supposed to come out?
Same week as Cyberpunk.
No. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
October, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
22 October.
Yeah, it's 17th for Cyberpunk and 22nd, I think, for
Assassin's Creed. Yeah. But like
29th for Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Like I remember like a few weeks ago, I talked about you with Andrew about it. Is like playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like one thing I really want to do, but you told me like it's better like before you play Valhalla, play Odyssey, and the reason was because. Do you remember what you said to me or not?
But with Odyssey?
Yeah, like what's like the
why does he need to play Odyssey prior to Valhalla?
Odyssey is a very good. It's entirely, to me, that's entirely different to any of the other Assassin's Creed other than Origins. If you've played Origins.
I played Origins. Yeah.
But Odyssey, in terms of visual aspects, the gameplay mechanics, the traversal. Origins was good, but you had other elements that are very much going into Valhalla. You've got the ship battles, for instance, at first and foremost. You're building up a crew, you're gathering a crew, you're upgrading that crew. You can actually, when you're fighting people, if you see a lieutenant or a sergeant wandering around on the battlefield, instead of killing that lieutenant or sergeant, you can recruit him and bring him to your ship, and he can be in charge of something. So if he's like a lieutenant, but he's firing arrows at you, you can recruit him, and usually he's in charge of all the weaponry on board of the ship. If he's like a big brawler, a bit heavy suited kind of defensive fighter on the battlefield, he's usually in charge of the defense on the ship when you bring him on. And you can keep all of this is kind of customizable and upgradable, and you can upgrade the weapons on the ship and have sea battles and things like that. And if you look at the Viking era as well, they steadily, all the way through, steadily increased the capabilities of the ships that they had. They were the longboats, of course. They were very, very much feared when they first started getting developed. How quickly they get across places, not only how quickly they get across places, but how well defended, how silent they were. I think that with the fact that there was about 30, 40 people using oars and things and making it was a horrific noise, put the fear into people when they're seeing it come across. So it's in terms of actual lore and the way fighting works compared to what you play in Origins, where it's a one man going against kind of different leaders and different areas. Odyssey was all about army versus army. It was essentially Spartan versus the opposing army, the kind of militias and things like that. And there was army battles and big set pieces where you had to go into a fight with like 100 people at the same time and fight them off. And then there was like 3 or 4 lieutenants that would come and try to find you and throughout the big kind of giant army battles. And to get a better idea as to what to expect in Valhalla, you'll see more of those set pieces play into to Odyssey. The set pieces is really the key thing. The set pieces, the ship battles, and the customization. Fighting wise, it looks it's very similar. If you exclude the kind of time frame and include now the goriness and more brutality that's going to be in kind of the Viking scene.
Okay.
So I think essentially you need the reason I say play Odyssey is there's more to Odyssey that is
close to
relatable.
Valhalla.
Yeah, than
Yeah.
Origins. Origins was a brilliant game, but there's
Absolutely.
a lot more features in Odyssey that
Okay.
that have been brought over to the new one that'll give you a better understanding as to what you can expect to play in
Yeah.
Valhalla.
Okay. Thank
What's
you.
I mean, what's from what you've seen anyway, from Patjeuh and Sean, what have you thought of Valhalla from what you've seen so far?
Shom, go first if you want.
It looks interesting, despite its poor kind of visual
Presentation.
aspect. Presentation. I think it'll still be a good game. For me, it's kind of wandering away from being an actual Assassin's Creed. Same with Odyssey. I'm a bit more of the old school. I like the more linear, and I like the story between the assassins and the Templars. That's what I liked about Assassin's Creed. Origins, I thought was really good, despite it straying away and being more RPG focused. I still enjoyed it because it was the forming of the Assassin Order and the Creed. And then you go on to Odyssey, which I was playing earlier actually. Odyssey is a really good game. It's just I don't think it's an Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
I like the mechanics.
Wasn't that good also, maybe, after so many editions of Assassin's Creed that they needed to change? What do you think?
Yeah. I don't
probably
mind
probably go
gameplay.
against what Shomberlon loves about it, and I hate the Animus. If there's one thing I could take out of Assassin's Creed, it would be to take Animus out of that entirely. Just get rid of it.
I don't mind them changing things up. It being RPG, like you said, I think it needed a change. It was getting a bit kind of like a yearly release and a little bit stale.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, it's the story. Odyssey is set before Origins. Now I've not got to the end of Odyssey, so whether that leads into the Templar part of things, but I have a feeling it won't. You don't have a hidden blade. You're using a spearhead. You've got an eagle, which is good, so bonus points for that. But in itself, it's a fantastic game. It's a brilliant game. I just don't think for me, it's not an Assassin's Creed game.
I thought the story in Odyssey was better than Origins, personally.
I think they could have made a new franchise out of it.
Yeah. Definitely. If Patjeuh, have you seen the film 300?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, that initial battle is the beginning of the game.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've seen videos on YouTube about from Odyssey.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now you say it, I can see it. That like the beginning, it's pretty big army against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty awesome.
The story in Odyssey for me was a lot better than that of Origins. I do like the Egyptian era and obviously the way they fight and things like that, but I think the Odyssey story was a lot more. There was a lot more to it. Obviously, it was two opposing armies, but within that, you've got this kind of a bit what you would call Illuminati kind of force in the background that kind of controls everybody and everything, but they're hidden, so you don't know who they are, and you've got to hunt down these people throughout kind of different factions to find out who it is that's controlling everything. So
that was a good mechanic. I enjoyed that.
Really, really like that. And I think that's potentially going to, it's not going to translate exactly into Valhalla, but you will have, of course, in Valhalla, you're going to have opposing forces. You're going to have heads of state and things like that, and kings and earls that you've got to kind of negotiate with. And there's going to be a lot of, like it was kind of back then, a lot of betrayal. A lot of people kind of getting angry with each other. One person wanting to do something and the other person wanting to do something else. And if they do the story right, like the Vikings were, they weren't kind of like, say, the Berserkers weren't what people thought they were. They were actually, as you know, the Berserkers were actually just high as a kite. They were just on drugs when they were fighting. It wasn't that they were like these unbelievable warriors that were undefeatable. They were just on drugs.
Back again. I just
I'd be interested to see
Sorry.
how they are with the historical accuracy to a point, because that's what they've been quite good at. some of the Assassin's Creeds. Not
Yeah.
massively, not kind of like.
I mean, exclude the fact that either there is exclude the fact that either's got a hidden blade. Exclude that. The accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, there's some artistic licensing, shall we say?
Yeah.
But they've always had good historical parts to it, and I'm interested to see, especially that's what my undergrad was in.
Oh, lost audio there, Sean.
Sean also.
Oh, I'm back. I think.
Back again.
But yeah, I'm just interested to see where they go historically with it, because that's what my undergrad was in, was history. So we did do a bit of medieval.
That's what I'm hoping that as well. To be honest, I'm hoping that they do the history well for the Norse, because it was obviously a lot of everyone's like, oh, they're famous for raping and pillaging and all this malark, but in that era, every army was famous for raping and pillaging, and
that was life. That was
it wasn't just life, but that's what conquesting is.
Yeah.
It's when you go to take a nation, you don't take it just to have the land. You go to take it to take everything that is within that land. The only way to do that is get rid of the indigenous population, absolutely wipe out everything.
Well, I like the thing that you can actually have your own settlements, and you build up your settlements, which is pretty much what the Vikings did here.
Correct.
Dublin,
exactly.
Dublin is an Irish town. So yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, I don't think it'll take too much away from the game. I don't think it will slow the game down, but it's certainly an interesting addition to the Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree on that.
What do you make of the strange mechanic that's came out recently, where you can change the character's gender throughout the game? You can play as male, but then switch to female in the middle of it.
That's kind of interesting. That is
Didn't they do that in the one in London anyway?
Could you switch? Could you?
Yeah. What was the one set in London?
Jeez, come on, man.
I know which game you're talking about. I can't think of for the life of us think of the name.
It was the first title of the the second title of the Xbox One at the time, because first you had the Pirate, right? Syndicate,
Black Flag, Syndicate.
Assassin's Creed that was the second Assassin's Creed. You had a new engine.
You could swap between the Friar Twins.
Right. Oh, yes.
Stealthy, and the guy was more of a brawler, and you could flick between them. So it's not a new mechanic.
Yeah, I think, but this one, it's not swapping between kind of different characters. It's the case of literally just being able to swap its gender.
Character gender swapping. Oh, well.
But does it really make a difference? I mean, maybe somebody feels the need to be a woman one day, and the other day a guy. I don't know, but it doesn't.
If there's an actual tactical element to it, is it would a female player, would they make them more stealthy and a male more brawler, or is it just a case of
I think we know as much as mythos goes, or at least legend goes, is that there was shield maidens, very fierce female warriors, but in terms of actual stealthy aspects for the female Viking warriors, I don't think anyone knows anything about that yet. So I don't know whether or not there's a stealthy aspect of that. The planners and the kind of tacticians, etc., were historically, and this is without being kind of any sexist elements to it, but historically, if you go down on legend and everything that's been written in Norse law, were always the kind of kings of the land, or the major kings that were involved there, or the sons, as we all know, the sons of Ragnar, which are all the way through the master tacticians that kind of raised Norse and their kind of Viking all the way through. So it depends on how historically accurate they want to be with the way this game plays.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it does make a difference. I'll probably pick my character and stick with it. I mean, normally in games like this, I tend to go with a female character anyway, because I always find that the male characters are pretty generic after a bit.
You want to be Lagertha? Is that what you're saying?
I do want to. Well, who would I rather look at? Big brawler guy.
Only in the weekends.
only on a Friday.
You will.
Hello, Shauna. But it's the era we live in, also, right? Everything, that's I think it doesn't matter in the end. Everyone can be who they want to be, and if you can beat it in a game, that's fine. I would just pick my character like Sean and stick with it. But yeah, like I said, maybe someone feels the need to play a different character every time. I don't know.
I mean,
But
if
yeah,
Yeah,
it's fair
your own
enough.
choice then.
Fair enough, yeah.
But if it's just a case of aesthetic, then I'll just stick with one.
Yeah.
I quite liked what they did with Odyssey. You choose your character, and then the other one out the twin is
the evil one.
Side.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, Patjeuh, one of the things on Odyssey, and for those that haven't played it, whatever character you choose, whether that be male or female, if you start with male, then the person you're hunting down, or the opposite person in the story, is the female variant of you, so your sister.
Okay.
If you start as the female, then the person you're going to be hunting down or finding out about is actually your brother.
Okay.
So the roles switch in reverse. Now, obviously, I didn't know this going into the game either. So when I seen it, I was like, "Oh, right, okay." Now I wish I'd played as the female to see how the male character reacted in that situation, whether or not he was any different.
I can imagine it being pretty much the same. I chose the female because beforehand I heard that the voice actor for the male was pretty annoying. So
it's probably not going to change. It's probably not going to change much, I think.
No,
it would be crazy because exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I think kind of on the Ubisoft note, after that, there wasn't really. Oh yes, Far Cry
6.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nearly forgot. How can we forget?
Don't forget about that, huh?
Obviously, you've got a big actor that they've invested in to get into Far Cry 6. We didn't see, Esposito. We didn't see. The only thing is, again, something that Xbox was criticized for in their stream was lack of gameplay.
Yeah.
And showing off Far Cry 6, not showing gameplay, and then afterwards having leaks of all the gameplay screenshots, kind of cemented. Why are you showing us this teaser trailer when you have? Have you not? Have you not seen the photos?
No.
If you have a look at the actual game, let's have a quick spy here.
I think I've seen it on Twitter.
I think for a whole, you can pretty much kind of guess what the Far Cry game.
But this trailer was really good. I think it also depends on how good the trailer is. Because this trailer was really like, whoa, I wanna play this game. And I think it all depends on how good it is.
Well, I think we only saying that we really want to play this game just because of Esposito. Because he's an amazing actor. He's fantastic.
There you go. There's the first one.
Yeah, it's pretty much Far Cry 5. I think they are very similar running through them from like Far Cry 3 onwards. 2 was a bit different, but 3 moving on, they have had very similar looks and game mechanics. I'm hoping we move away from the whole Radio Tower-esque Ubisoft formula for every game.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the only reasons we don't have Splinter Cell.
I'm not sure what he's got on his back there, but it looks like some kind of weird flamethrower.
I don't know. It could be a jetpack.
Yeah, but we're going in. I mean, unlike a lot of other Far Cries now, we're going into cities. It's a very different setting.
Yeah, the others have been kind of tropical settings, haven't they? Kind of out in the wilderness.
We've got cities, but if you have a look here, we've also got the mountainous regions.
Looks really good, huh?
Oh, the game looks amazing. Yeah.
I'm more impressed by this than Valhalla, to be honest.
Yeah, and graphically, that's I've got to agree. Now it depends if Valhalla looks the same as this when we actually play it. That's another thing. Yeah. But these are in-game 4K screenshots that have been shared here.
Not too bad.
We've also got. So the flamethrower is only available in. Oh, wait.
And the collector's edition.
Great.
Oh, is that a model flamethrower rather? Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Model
it's
flamethrower.
a replica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a real one. But they already,
for
I
sure,
saw already some marketing on it also on YouTube when I started videos. I don't know when this game will come out. Is that already this year or next year? Probably next year.
Next year, I think. Yeah.
next.
wonder
I
whether
hope it
this-
is, because we're going to be flooded. If not, then we're going to be flooded with.
Too many games.
Well, I think now that they've announced that they're going to do another one in September, I wonder whether they'll show a bit gameplay in that. So they've kind of piqued their interest. And then,
Correct. Yeah. That's a good one, Sean.
So maybe.
I mean, overall, I think the Ubisoft conference to me, I would probably it's bang average. To me, it was bang average. It was it was.
Bored. I think everything, especially Watch Dogs going on too long.
Watch Dogs took too long for me. I literally switched off and just started scrolling through Twitter on my phone halfway through Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
like, I've seen the mechanics. I don't need the mechanics re-explained.
Exactly.
And if you have a look at the actual stream, I just scrolled through before putting it on screen there, and it was literally 15. It's a 35-minute conference, and 15 minutes of that was Watch Dogs Legions.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We won't go into Tom Clancy Elite Squad. We'll skip
No.
But yeah, so it was bang average. It was probably 5-6 out of 10. A little bit more Valhalla gameplay. Far Cry 6 showing off. Obviously, that was leaked beforehand as well. So in the end, it wasn't even surprised.
It was leaked, yeah. To finish on that, I think everybody knew that's what was coming. I mean, had that not been leaked, that would have been like, whoa, Far Cry 6, yeah.
Just Fatal having there in chat quickly, just saying that announced today by Ubisoft that there won't be any price increases. So it will remain as $60 or $59.99 as is this gen going into next gen.
People going about the increase in price and getting mad about that, but in the UK that's been going on for a couple of years. Like the thing, it was 40 quid, then it went up to 45, then it went up to 50, and now it's 60 quid for $60, which is just ridiculous. So we've been getting stealth increases anyway.
Okay, that's interesting because I remember like paying 60 euros in our case. It's been on for years here, paying 60 euros for a new game. So,
but do you remember, Pat, when the Nintendo 64 came out here, how much expensive those games were back in the day? Those were goddamn it 120 or 130 guilders back in the day.
Oh yeah,
super expensive. Those cartridges, those were super expensive. But I don't know why you want to increase so much, because everything is going much digital also. So they have to for the production it costs less, right? So I think if that happens on a large scale, I think we as gamers should really stand up and fight against such thing, because it's every time 10 euros or $10 or £10 more, man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean the only way I could possibly justify a price increase on games is if they just rule out paying for the season passes and things like that.
Yes.
I understand additional development time for added missions, etc. But at the end of the day, in season passes, you're not getting like an additional map. You're not getting an additional area 90% of the time. It's in season passes. It's usually just an additional, usually just additional missions, additional characters, a couple of different weapons, upgrades, things like that. It's nothing kind of major in a season pass. It never has been, to be honest. The only people that I know have done like major additions and season passes have been likes of Forza and The Witcher. And Forza Horizon, their season passes entirely new areas for you to play with entirely different mechanics for these particular areas. In The Witcher, the additional content you got with that was just insane. Like, added hours for The Witcher 3 was like, I think it was another 50 hours worth of gameplay. That's
Okay.
absolutely insane for the season pass. If they were to include, and they didn't, I don't even think. I think if you have a look at the total cost of Witcher 3, it was, I think that was about 70, but that was including all of the additional content. So if a small company at that time, obviously they're massive now, they're bigger than Ubisoft, but if the likes of CD Projekt Red can come out even before they got that big and say, right, all of our content, including all of the additional content, is only going to be 70. But then big companies like Ubisoft are going to be coming out and saying, oh, it's like 80, 90 quid for a season pass on top of it.
I think Forza did this. I think Forza did the same, right?
Yeah.
With Forza 6 at least. I don't know if they did it with 7. I guess so. So you pay at launch a little bit more, but then you got all the upcoming DLC, not for free, of course, but then you don't have to pay it afterwards. So you would just pay the increased price, and then it's fine, right?
Yeah.
No.
Then it's fine. It's different, but yeah. But I don't know. I don't think if Ubisoft doesn't increase their prices, probably the rest will follow suit. And this was only Rockstar, right? Who did it? The price increase.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they are with GTA, you know, and Red Dead Redemption. They are so strong, but I don't think other companies will follow. I think, or at least I hope. Or else, like I said, we need to stand up against such things.
Yeah. I agree.
Agree.
I think last but not least, then, boys, we've got the big conference tomorrow.
The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. only a few measly hours to go until we see.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm super hyped about it. I don't know what to expect, but yeah, like what we saw on social media is that they said this conference is going to be focused on games. So I will be expecting a lot of it. So I'm pretty interested in what's coming. So, and we already know like a few titles that are probably what we're gonna see. Halo Infinity. That's where a lot of people are looking forward to.
Yeah,
that's the only thing right now that you see on Twitter. Halo Infinity every time. So yeah, I'm excited.
It's the Master Chief. It's one of the biggest franchises actually on any platform.
It is.
So,
it is.
It's good that they hype it up, and I really hope it can deliver on that hype. And you get more the Halo 1 feeling or the Halo CE, right? Or at least that's the feeling that I get from everything we saw now, and I really like the open world kind of thing that they are aiming for. And I hope a little bit more customization, stuff like that. Also the grappling hook, the thing that was very heavily rumored now that you see the on the last picture that they posted. For the box art, you see something on his arm that looked like a grappling hook. So probably gameplay-wise, that will bring some surprises as well. And every time I think it's funny that they want to change or they change something on Halo, then the whole world is freaking out. Especially the dudes still want to play like Halo 1. Gameplay, but I think you need to evolve. I think in every franchise you need. Yes, exactly. Still, they are pissed off, right? But I think also when you want to draw in new players from younger generations, not old dudes like us, you need to go with your time as well. And I think it's with a franchise, you need to innovate, and that's the power. If you do it good, then it's no problem that you innovate. And I think with sprinting, I think it was implemented quite well. But if they innovate, then they need to get it work. And if it works, people will accept it and will love it in the end for sure. But the Halo community, I'm not so much into the Halo community itself. I like the game, but I'm not so much in the community. But they are very strong on changes on the game. So I expect how this will pan out. But yeah, man, I think I don't remember how much I've been for a show from Xbox since so long time. I think it was 2013 when the Xbox One was announced. That show was kind of shit, right? But the feeling that I had prior to that show, man, it was amazing, and I have that same feeling now because I feel they're gonna deliver. especially the investments that they did in the last 3 years, right? Like buying teams, expanding teams, getting all kind of talents from all over the world, expanding the Xbox Game Studios. Man, they need to deliver, and I think it's for a lot of people all or nothing. I think they're gonna deliver, and I really would like that they do, to see and blow us away as fans, because the last 3 or 4 years were quite mediocre show presentations wise, right? Where the last E3s weren't that great, right? We were still waiting on that big boom, and we didn't get it. And I think tomorrow we will get it. And probably Halo is going to be a title for sure. But I fully expect Forza 8 to be announced over there with some gameplay and 120 frames per second. Fable, that's the worst kept secret in gaming, right? We're probably going to see Hellblade 2 gameplay, Everwild from Rare, and I secretly hope that they will, or Perfect Dark or Banjo, because those are old franchises, those are old IPs that a lot of people know and love, and I think really that should bring it back, and a new IP. I really hope that, and I think they will do. I don't know which studio will bring the new IP, but for sure they're gonna announce it. And the secret wish that I have for so long is Rise 2, man. I would really like to do Rise. Fuck
the
it.
sequel.
I need that game, man. No problem. Just bring it on. Bring it on.
I think we'll always. I think what we can probably expect as well is release dates or more information on Gears Tactics for Xbox and Flight Sim for Xbox. I think you'll get information on those as well.
I think they'll be within the launch window.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And also like the ray tracing. I hope they will like show us like the difference between the ray tracing, what you have on the Series X, because I saw the Minecraft with the ray tracing, and that was like, I don't know, it was beyond.
They need to show us a reason why we need to change to Series X. Because everything is now you can play across generations now with Xbox. It's not a full generation like PlayStation is doing. But if they're gonna do it like this, that everything is playable on the older systems as well, then we really need to see a reason why we should buy go out to the store and buy a Series X.
Series X,
or else I just can keep my One X and maybe be happy as well. But I want to see differences why I should get a Series X besides the loading times and stuff like that.
Oh.
But they need to dispel the narrative about it being held back by the OG Xbox. They need to show what the difference is. They need to. If you've got like, here's your, even if they do a One X, here's your One X version, here's your Series X version.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a good if there is that much of a difference.
But wouldn't it be a surprise that if it's just all the games that we see tomorrow is just as good or better looking than the ones that they show on PlayStation when it's really a generational cut? Because I think that the games we will see tomorrow, and especially when you see the big marketing thing like optimized for X, I really think it is. They can add and scale everything up and down like that, like they want. And I think like the Spider-Man Morales, they did the same thing. It's a game that should be playable on PS4. But they just scale it a little bit higher with ray tracing and stuff like that to make it sound like it's only possible on PS5, but that's kind of bullshit, of course.
This is the kind of style that I want to see tomorrow. What we're seeing on screen,
Yes.
When I saw this the thing, I was like, "Wow, that's
that looks next gen."
Yeah,
exactly.
Not every game has to look like that,
but at the this is a one-man team who outsources very little of his project to get it. If a one-man team can do something that looks this good, but a team of 100, 200, 300 people can't, that you tend to think, well, what's going wrong?
Yes, exactly.
It's insane. If some guy can do this with the Unreal Engine by himself and only outsource some basic things like sound and some kind of basic kind of effects or particle effects and things like that.
But I fully expect the games will look great tomorrow, especially like Halo, right? But all the others as well. And then I think all the bullshit that the Series X is getting held back by the One. I think that's ridiculous in anyway. But I think we will get blown away, man. Especially with everything that we saw now from Halo. Also the trailer that you showed earlier, Andrew. Man, that trailer already. If you look good, that already looks pretty amazing. It's already looking good, and it was 3 years ago or something like that.
Well, one thing that we've that was 2018 and then 2019, so that was 2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah, man.
But even when we seen that was gameplay on the One X. That wasn't gameplay on the Series X. That wasn't even shown for the Series X at that point. That was just One X footage.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it PC? Wasn't it PC back in the day? I believe it was PC, mate.
It was, but it was based on the capabilities of the One X. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
but can you imagine how it will look?
Yeah. What we're going to see, especially tomorrow, and I know this for a fact, is we're going to see the Halo gameplay is going to be campaign on Series X, and the capabilities of Series X, showing off all the bells and whistles. But you can see just how hyped not only Xbox are, but Halo are. I mean, I've never seen them push a franchise as much as they have been the last 2 days. Especially, that's just on Twitter, never mind anything else. If you ever look just how much they post on Twitter about Halo, it's just non-stop. From everybody related to Xbox, it's just Halo.
But it started with the Banished, right? The trailer. So I went back. So the twins, Joshua and Justin, the twins from the US, they gave me the advice to watch all the cutscenes on YouTube, and then from Halo Wars 2, and then you get more into the story, into what Halo Infinite is gonna be like. But there you saw the Banished, man, and I watched those cutscenes, and they look absolutely fantastic. But if the Banished, if you saw the trailer that was shown a couple of weeks ago, how much views that get and how many people were excited to see that probably coming into Halo, man, I think this game is gonna blow us away tomorrow fully.
Yeah. I mean, you don't invest what is nearly £500 million into a game engine if you're not serious about redoing this franchise. Yes. 500 million went into developing a game engine specifically for that.
Yeah, with a team of 500 people or something like that, and that dude went on and make a game that looks so good on his own. Can you imagine what 500 people can do? Man, if they fuck it up, then I'm gonna be pissed off, man. But I have full confidence that they will blow us away. And actually, Halo 5 looked already pretty graphically wise, looked very nice. I didn't like the story so much because I really like the story to be around the Master Chief. But that aside, the game graphically looked very nice. So it only can go better than what we have now. And they're gonna blow us away. But it shouldn't be only about Halo. I would like to see more of a roadmap. What's coming for the next couple of years? And
I think because, like you're saying there, I don't think it'll be all about Halo. I think that is I don't even think that's their centerpiece. Dare I say it? I think Halo is something that they can hype because everybody knows it's going to be there, and it's right, we're definitely going to show you Halo Infinite gameplay because Halo Infinite's going to be shown off. That's the only thing they can talk about is Halo, because the rest we don't know. That we have no idea we can suspect what they're going to show, so we can say we hope we see a Fable, we hope we see Forza 8. I don't think we'll see Forza Horizon. I don't think.
No, I
yeah, we'll see a flaccid penis.
But I'm interested to see from studios like Compulsion, in Exile. Didn't they? There wasn't a game they were making that made them. That's what Microsoft purchased them for.
Yeah.
Was it Obsidian? No, it was Obsidian. Obsidian. There was a game that Obsidian is making that's what really made. I've always loved Obsidian since Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked them.
And they work a lot together now. Also, the teams. Before the COVID stuff, all the team heads were meeting up in meetings to discuss all things we shouldn't know about. But the collaboration, I think, within the teams is huge, and also the teams that are working on Unreal Engine. You see that the coalition is really doing well on that engine, but also helping other teams. And I think that collaboration will benefit so much for us as gamers. Because they work with different genres, and they can only make each other so much better. And those are big teams now, eh? I thought they expanded so much. It's incredible.
What I don't want to see though is I don't want to see DLC for any games like that. I know they've been teasing the Outer Worlds DLC from Obsidian. I don't, if they want to do that at the post or pre-show.
I think personally for the Obsidian thing, you'll see their first. Well, I think you'll see the trailer for the DLC, followed by a trailer for the new title.
Maybe that would bother me as much, but if it's just a case of here's the DLC trailer, then I think that's a missed opportunity, shall we say?
Do you think we're going to see State of Decay 3 showing off at all?
I hope so, and I hope it's a better engine now that they've got the finances.
Yeah,
could be.
Yeah.
I don't think we will. I think it's a little bit too early. I think.
Yeah.
Well, when did State of Decay come out? It's like 2 years ago now, isn't it?
Well, that's about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Or was it no? Or maybe it was last year.
No, I think 2 years ago it came out, and then last year they added some new things.
Yes.
If I remember good. Yeah.
But it's not a game that I'm really fond of, so I'm not too interested in that. I think it has quite a good user base, but I don't know. It's not something that I want to see tomorrow that I will go crazy about. I want to see some new shit.
Yeah.
Not a State of Decay 3, or if they show State of Decay 3, just make it more like Days Gone or something like that with a twist, and just make it like really AAA, not some kind of
that's what I mean.
game.
I'm happy if it's got. I mean, State of Decay 1 was good. Number 2 was, for me, was a little bit let down, but the co-op was good, despite it being you
laggy as all things.
Laggy,
Oh wow, yeah, it was. In the beginning, it was.
So bad. Online was the worst because you couldn't. It wasn't that you just couldn't stick next to the person you were playing with. It was the fact that invisible zombies would murder you.
I had them falling out the sky. But they weren't part of the Microsoft game studios then, so they were still had a certain budget. Whereas now they don't have an unlimited budget, but there's more flexibility.
They've got freedom.
Yeah.
And they've grown from what I hear from people like Randy.
Well, all of them. There's one thing you can say about every studio underneath kind of Microsoft or Xbox's branding now is every one of them has been recruiting like absolute madman. There's been unbelievable amount of people brought on. If you have a look at Playground Games, I think it's every other day. It's like, here's our 10 new starters. Here's another 5 new starters. Here's another 25 new starters. Here's another 3. Here's another 4. Like, how many people are you bringing on board?
Well,
and even
the doubled.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Turn 10 also.
Yeah, Turn 10.
Turn 10 is bigger than it ever was. Yeah.
The initiative's got hundreds of people now. And they're not even there at the beginning of their development cycle. I don't even think we'll see. I mean, everyone's expecting the initiative to show off, but that studio is brand new. They've been developing a game.
23 before we see anything from that.
Yeah, they've been developing a game. Of course, we know Phil Spencer's been and played it. Everyone tried to have a look at that image to see if they could see anything in his eyeballs.
I know.
But I hope they show something like only a title and then coming in. I don't know, something that they at least show us a little glimpse what they are working on, but that they are working on something we know. But we need only a tiny peak to get people hyped, because the talent in that team is one of the best there is in the industry. But we need only a tiny bit of
a title.
I don't know, to get
Like,
Yes, yeah.
a bit of background script from the main character. There's some of the rumors that it's going to be a Joanna Dark thing. So even if you had her voice and then the name of the game,
Exactly.
that would get people hyped up.
Yeah, sure.
If the rumors are true that it's going to be a stealth game, then I'll be more than up for that. Because
Man, that would be nice.
It would be nice, yeah.
And of course, Hellblade 2.
Hellblade
So-
2.
Oh, yeah.
Some game.
I think I watched 40 times the trailer, man, of the you know the music that was on it was amazing as well. But I think I watched it 40 times. I cannot wait to see more. I loved the first one, Hellblade 1. But man, I cannot wait.
I think Jez Corden from Windows Central, I think he's pretty much made them millionaires off royalties from playing that song over and over again.
Yeah.
He loves that song.
You don't blame him one bit, to be fair, because that game looked, and that was only Unreal Engine 4, and we know that game's not coming out until after UE5's released, and we know that they've already said they're going to be transferring everything over to UE5 to make use of whatever additional features that has.
And people have doubts that it will look like this, but I don't have any doubts really.
No.
It will look like this.
If you look at what they did, they had what, 10, 15 people working on Hellblade 1?
Yes.
If you look at what they did with the capabilities of 20 people, if you look at what they did with 20 people on the first one and how well received that first game was, and now they've got a brand new office, loads of new staff, a lot more resources, a lot more funding, much bigger backing.
Yeah.
Still the creativity to do what they want. They've actually got 3 games in development. Not only Hellblade, but Project Mara, and then that other VR game that they've got as well.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, or I really like to see a movie of this kind of game.
Yeah.
You know, because it really looks like a movie. If you just look at it, you know, it's crazy. I played the first one as well, not the whole game, but like, I don't know. It's the second one is gonna be crazy.
But also the story about it, right? That all the psychological things going on. I think that
that's crazy.
It would be nice to make a series of, but man, the story in the game, I cannot wait to play more on this one. And I just want to say also that people are watching and also are in the chat. Thanks for watching and tuning in. I see some names that we know from Twitter: Fatal Enigma, Batman77, Marian also, and who was first? Psycho UK Nas 666. Those were tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, tuning in and very active as well. So I try to keep on top of what they're saying.
But little shout out to them for joining our amateur show for the first time.
Yeah, for the first amateur show, the first one. When we get big, your names will be there.
Yeah.
But I don't. Where you see the chat? I don't see any chat. What?
If you on the bottom you see chat, Cam Mike. Don't you see it on your screen?
Oh yeah, comments. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Look now again, 2 people in the chat.
Yeah. What's up, Fado? Yeah. Nice.
Fado.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome,
man.
I mean, if you have a look into kind of what you're expecting for, not even just what you're expecting, but what you're hoping for. What would be your dream title to be shown off at the event?
Nice.
Like that's a blanket question to everybody. If you have a good hard think, what would be your dream? If they could just show off one thing, what would it be?
Oh, wow. Project Gotham Racing 5, man.
PGR.
You really need that when you've got Forza.
Yes.
You really need PGR.
Yes. You know, I have so many good memories with PGR 3. It's unbelievable. It was the first time that I really played on Xbox Live. And I made real life friends from it. I played for hundreds of hours. I got the 1000 gamer achievement score. I was in the top 50 of the world also, so I was quite fast. I was in a racing clan, so everything, it started with that game. So, but also racing in the cities, you know, they were so beautifully crafted. If you go back to that game, it still holds up really good. And I sometimes wish Horizon, don't mistake it, is a very good game. But we're already in
FIFA, top 3.
It's almost the same for now. For a couple editions, of course, they bring in the seasons. But I think they need to change up a little bit with Horizon also. So to go back a little bit more to city racing, like Project Gotham did, fuck, man, I will be going crazy. Yeah. But also, like I said, Rise to.
Where would you like to go though? Then would it just like be they reckon it's going to be, or they speculate it's going to be Tokyo next? Is that what you want, or?
Yes, but yes, Tokyo. But why not multiple cities in Japan? Like you said, in London, in Japan, or
places like that.
Yes, in the UK, in the UK they always pick London, but why don't you pick other cities? Now that's the same argue for this one.
You could have your Tokyo because you got that classic crossing. It's always famous in the films. You know, I can't remember what it's called now. You know, it's got the big X-shape crossing section. I can't remember the name of the place. You ask me tomorrow and I'll be able to tell you. But then you could go out to more, not rural, but more historical cities.
Yes.
And race around there and things like that.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's good that they also took now more development time, and that's the same counts for motorsport. Like it was getting them also like FIFA, you know, like FIFA 18, 19, 20, and that was almost the same with the Horizon or with Forza series, let's say. I think that also puts a lot of pressure on the developments, and also your creativity and your innovation will get less also because of it, because you're on so much time pressure every time that they cannot innovate maybe as they want. So if they have now 1 year more or 2 years more development time on the series, it will be fantastic.
What about if they announced like another Forza, as in like you've got your motorsport, your Horizon plus something else? Yeah, so then they've then got a 3-year span.
A whole new series. Yeah. You know, that's kind of funny that you say it, because I was thinking about that like a few days ago. Like, okay, so you have Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport. Why not another series, a new one? You know, like start a whole new one.
With powerboat.
That could be interesting. That could be interesting, yeah.
I mean, they had the basic premise of it on the kind of mobile-ish game that they had, which was Forza Street, but I mean, did anybody actually play a lot of that? I played a handful and then kind of put it down a bit again.
I played it for a week. That's it.
I think if you exclude the fact that it was just a simple drag racing game where you just had to press buttons kind of to go along the track, you didn't actually do anything.
No.
If you exclude that fact, the setting itself, which was, like you say, the neon lights and more of the original Need for Speed Underground feel, I think if Forza went down that route and did more of a kind of an underground feel where they had the ridiculous body kits on things and the NOS and the ridiculous lights and kind of nightlife type scene and the street racing scene, if they did that properly as a side venture, I think that could work well.
Yeah, but I think they need to. So I think they need to also, because now the last couple series almost have been the same, only the environment changed, right?
Yeah.
But you do practically every time you do the same thing, and I think the game is good. There's no misconception. The game is really, really good, but I think they need to innovate on that part to give more excitement. Because I don't know if I can put hundreds of hours into another series where I just do every time the same thing, like I did in 4, in 3, and in 2, and even in 1. So I think they need to innovate a little bit, and that's maybe like what PGR did with adding bicycles, or I don't know, maybe they should add boats, you know, in the Horizon series, because you have those showcases there where you saw also some boats going on the water, right? So maybe they need to. Yes, maybe they need to innovate more.
See, the one thing they lost from Horizon, if you remember back to Horizon 1, they had the storyline, and you had a final boss battle race against somebody in Horizon 1. They've lost that. Like, I don't remember having kind of a structure to go against where you had to actually fight, where you had to drive or race against the Horizon champion. And ever since Horizon 1, you have been the Horizon champion coming back to defend. You've never actually had to win against anybody who was this unbelievable driver at the end.
Yeah.
so they've kind of lost the story, as it were.
Yeah, I see also in the
yeah, go on.
Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, would you be up for a complete change and have like a MotoGP type Forza?
Yeah, or mixed,
No.
a mix with it, right? Where, like you saw also in the trailer when it was announced, right? In Forza Horizon 4, that the motorcycles, you know, the dirt bikes, were going across, and they look pretty nice. If you can add something like that, it will bring a different.
That could be
experience to the
interesting.
games.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought when they brought out the crew.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the crew. You have motorbikes as well.
The crew had the idea down; they just didn't have the
execution
right.
was poor. Yeah, it was when I first saw that for the crew, I was like, "That looks amazing." And then when I played the demo or the beta, I was like, "Yeah, no."
Well, I've got the first one, and the handling on that game is horrific.
Yeah,
it's like a tank.
But I hate that game.
But that's because Horizon is so super good. Because everything you play that's a different kind of car game in that genre always plays less, because Horizon is so good on gameplay.
But you know what it reminded me of, though? It was the handling from like the original Need for Speed, where it was more like you're just driving a big shopping trolley around.
Yeah.
That was it. Like every car was handled so poor, just played like a bag of shit. But the concept and the map size was ridiculous. I remember just going for a drive on that game and thinking, like, I can literally spend 3 hours and not get across the map.
No, without an SSD.
Exactly. Yeah.
Without an SSD. Without an SSD, Drew. Can you imagine?
What was that?
Without an SSD.
Oh
without an SSD. Yeah?
Without an SSD. Yeah, exactly. Without it. Never mind with one.
Yeah. I saw in the chat that about marketing deals. What do you guys think? Because I think the marketing deals has been pretty clear. Cyberpunk and the Ubisoft titles, right? I don't think we expect the Call of Duty marketing stuff like that, or maybe some other ones. I don't know, but Call of Duty is, I think, out of the question, right?
Doesn't Sony still have it for another year?
Yeah, I see the chat also that they were saying. I believe so. Yeah. And I think also that Phil sees because those are really, really expensive marketing deals. I think that they saw that they can invest such money into their own studios, right, and to make their own games better, probably. Because you're talking about 40-50 million or something like that, right, in marketing deals like that.
Yeah.
Or am I saying something crazy? No, right?
And you've got to think of the sheer volume of investment that they've put into it. Well, we know 15 studios, but we also know that they've acquired several more since then, but they haven't been officially announced. But that isn't going to be spoken about in this conference.
That'll be August.
Warner Bros, man, they're gonna end up with Warner Bros. Mark my words.
Yeah, I think so. But that's publicized as well, though, and I think people close to that deal were a bit miffed. I think they were a bit pissed off that leaked. I don't think because that's if you have a look at the size of that deal, that's very much like a football club being purchased by somebody. That's not a minor deal. If you have a look at when Xbox purchased Mojang for the first time for Minecraft, that deal itself would have took absolutely months to set up because of the size of that and the potential.
Yeah.
But that didn't even leak. That didn't leak. It was just a case of Microsoft has now purchased Mojang, and now it's one of the biggest franchises to ever be in gaming. It's the second highest, behind Tetris, the second highest selling game in history. The investment was absolutely well thought out there because they've seen an opportunity. Said this game's just going to be ridiculous because it's just one of them games that anybody can play at any time. The name behind it's already there. The fan base is already there. The possibilities of the game is there. So it's a no-brainer. Put that money down. And when you have a look at Warner Brothers and what is available to them, it isn't, if you even exclude the titles that don't belong to those studios, if you have a look at the capabilities of the studios that are underneath Warner Brothers, that is worth investment alone anyway. But I think both Xbox and Warner Brothers are pissed off primarily that any conversation of that deal's been spoke about.
Yeah, I mean, even if they don't get like the licensing to Batman and the DC world, just the type of games Rocksteady can produce is exciting. I'd like to see a Batman on Xbox, but even if we don't get it, I think just like you said, the talent behind the studios
the team is so good.
Yeah. From what I've heard as well is even if they did get those licenses, and we know Microsoft very well by now, they're not going to make Batman, etc., an exclusive title. They're not going to do it.
No, correct.
But they might make a smaller DC.
I think they might make a DC a game that has never been on any other console.
Yeah, so
like
say
another character entirely from DC, but I don't think specifically. I think if the current titles that are already Mortal Kombat and Batman, they will remain multi-plat. I don't think they'd ever change that.
Yeah, true. I think that's true. But the talent that you get in-house is so big, and especially when something like Game Pass, you want to bring a certain steady of games every month, maybe even in the future. Then you have so many new talent and development teams in-house that you can produce games after game after game on a Game Pass. And I think Game Pass it's more impressive, or maybe that's the wrong word, to the company than we think of, because this is really that I think will change the gaming. Yeah, maybe already did within Microsoft, but it will change the way we look how game development also goes, right? And like I said, with such a Netflix kind of subscription that you want to see when you're on Netflix, you want to see new movies, new how do you say it, series every time when you go on Netflix, or else you get bored and you will go maybe for another subscription service. I think this will suit perfectly with the Game Pass model that they have.
Oh yeah, well, one thing I mentioned as well with the other day on, I think it was Mad's podcast, was if you have a look at the beginning of next gen, the value you're going to get starting the generation is absolutely insane, and that's one big upper hand that Xbox have got over PlayStation. To invest in the next generation of PlayStation, you're going to have to buy a console. You're going to have to. They've also got the peripherals. If you want to buy the peripherals, you're then going to have to purchase the game separately, individually. So for every first-party title that comes out that is exclusive to PlayStation at launch, right now, you're going to have to pay for individually, and that whether that be 60 or 70, whatever the price is, you're going to have to buy that separately. So before you've even started the next generation, even if you're picking up an additional controller, let's say at launch, so you're getting 2 controllers, the console, 3-4 games, you're talking already going into the potentially 800-900 mark to start a generation. With Xbox, you're coming at the generation. If you've already got a controller or several controllers from your current console, they work, so you don't need to worry about that. If you've got an Elite controller, it works. You don't have to worry about that. You've got a console. If you've got Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass in general, you've got all launch games coming. If you've already got it, you don't even need to worry about then buying Game Pass because you've already got Game Pass. So you only need to go out, get the console, and that's your launch sorted. Done. You've got every game for launch.
You got everything. Yeah.
At launch.
That's what they're going to highlight in August for sure.
The difference you're going to have is I'm going out to buy this £500 console. That's all I'm going to need. Or I'm going out to buy this £500 console. I need to spend £30 to get every game.
Yeah.
That's it.
One thing I want to know about is the whole what's it called? I can't remember it now. Where the games go forward. What's their marketing tool for it?
Oh, smart delivery.
Smart delivery, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How that's going to be, how effective that going to be with third party? We know it's going to happen with first party games, but what I don't really ever see smart delivery happening, say on a Ubisoft title, and not happening on a PlayStation version of the Ubisoft title, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I do wonder whether, obviously it's a gimmick in a sense, but how effective is it going to be outside of the Microsoft studios?
Good question. That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, you saw it already with the One X, right? It didn't call it smart delivery, but they already did it. So only now they give it a fancy marketing name. But yeah, so it's a good question. I think because it's cross-gen, and Microsoft is not thinking. It's thinking beyond generations. I think they will focus more on that. And PlayStation, there's a totally different mindset. So it's probably going to be lots of differences in that regard. But yes, I don't know.
But what I mean is, if I buy Far Cry 5 for the PlayStation 4, I know there's a high chance that come the PlayStation 5, I'll still be able to use that digital copy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it is a little bit gimmicky in that sense that they're saying, "Oh, you could do this," but most of the big publishers are going to do that anyway. Unless
I think
rob people.
I think they need some clarity on it, to be fair, because what they kind of stated for which game was it? Was it Far Cry or was it Assassin's Creed or something? I think they stated something along the lines of if you own a physical copy and you bring that over to the PlayStation 5, then you're going to get the upgrade at no additional cost.
Yeah.
But they didn't mention anything about the digital version or whether or not you can re-download any digital versions if you've already purchased it on your PlayStation 4.
Yeah, say that you get one of the higher tiers. You got extra content.
Yeah.
That Ubisoft always do. Does that go forward with you for the PlayStation? I'm assuming it would do.
Yeah.
It would be sick if they don't do it. Come on.
I can't see them not doing it. Honestly.
No, it will give them so much backlash. And it's. I don't think there are going to be difference on digital or a physical copy. I think it's just a matter of an update, and then the system recognizes, hey, this is PS5. Let's ramp it up. Let's optimize. But I don't think there's going to be any difference on that one. Maybe in the future they will charge you for an update, right? So hey, you got now or at least on the Xbox, that some third-party developers does it. Okay, you have the Xbox One version still. You want to play the Series X? Pay for it. But yeah, I don't think Microsoft is going to like that. So I don't know if they will ever agree on that, and I don't know if they can stop it. But there's going to be some. There's going to be some discussion about it for sure in the future.
It'd just be interesting to see. I mean, another outcome, which I honestly I don't see it really happening, is that the PlayStation guys will get the backwards compatible version, and the Xbox guys will get the next gen version. But honestly, for Ubisoft, EA have been a little bit stingy with their things, but some of the decent ones,
came in for some flack, and even then, I think it's a bit of a strange one because they've said, yeah, we're going to do it now. But the time limit, they've extended the time limit to the point it doesn't make sense. The time limit's been extended for the games to the next window of release for the next game. So I don't understand that. They've said, all right, you need to have this version of the game, or at least you need to own this version of the game by September of 2021.
Yeah.
But by that point,
they're gonna do both for both consoles.
Yeah.
They'll be getting the newer version for both consoles when they hit.
At this point, I expect no less for CDPR because they are the most pro-consumer company I think I've ever come across.
Yeah, agree.
Patjeuh, what's your hopes for Xbox? What do you hope you see? Obviously, it's PUBG, Xbox Series X.
Yeah, that's PUBG on the Series X with the ray tracing. I don't know. It's
with high frame rates and silky smooth.
Yeah. Let's hope
60 frames per second, man.
Exactly. Like 60 FPS, and that's what a lot of people want on the console. So yeah, I hope they will. I'm not sure, and I don't know if they're gonna do it, but it's gonna be awesome if they show something about that. But they won't, I guess. And like Forza Horizon, I don't know, maybe, but it's too early for that, I think.
So what do you hope to see then if you exclude PUBG out of the equation? What is your if anything could be shown off tomorrow? What is it that you'd really hope to see?
Wow, that's a really good question. I'm just gonna watch and let they surprise me. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. So yeah, let they surprise me, and then after that, yeah, I don't know.
I had the same question. I had the same question put to me the other day as well, on the Vitamin G podcast, and I give nearly the same answer. I said specifically, the thing that I want to see is the thing that I don't know about. It's that surprise. It's
Yeah.
a surprise big AAA title that is gonna wow and really take us back and think, whoa, that is. I didn't see that coming. That game looks amazing. Something new that is going to kind of blow the socks off. As much as I'm excited for the potential of seeing a new Fable and seeing where Halo Infinite's going and seeing Hellblade and seeing all of the games we love and we know we love, as much as I'm excited for that, I'm more excited on seeing the potentials of new IPs that they have cooking, or what it is that they've been working on. That's the thing that excites me the most, and that's the thing that I'm more excited for. It's the unknown that I'm more excited for.
Yeah, exactly.
Than the known. So as much as we all love Halo and we'll all be playing Halo day one when that comes out, thankfully, not only just down to Game Pass, but just in general, I don't think anyone's going to miss that game. But
no,
other than the kind of
we need more.
Yes,
we need more than that.
Exactly. So the stuff I'm looking forward for is the stuff we don't know about.
You got three big titles. It's Halo, it's Fable, and it's the what's the other one that we just talked about?
Hellblade.
Yeah, Hellblade. Yeah, exactly. Those three titles are the main titles that you hear about. But what are the others? That's a surprise. So for me, yeah.
And it's only a little bit more than an hour long, eh? So that if they take 10 to 50 minutes to show off Halo, then you only have 45 minutes to show other titles, right? So it's gonna be tight anyway. So maybe we're expecting too much. That's most of the time that's the case. Eh?
Yeah.
But
they said they're going to be announcing stuff as well.
A third party, probably.
Yeah, probably. So they'll get rid of.
I think pre-show they'll show third party, but they might also show a few more kind of indie Xbox titles.
Grounded titles, Bugsnax, maybe some Bugsnax.
Yeah.
Oh, and like Betterman says as well, we need to try get into tomorrow with level-headed expectations. So
yeah, but yes and no, because I did that the last 4 years already. And I'm done with it. I want to feel excited. I want to feel that they bring. Yes, I'm tired of that. I want to go crazy, man. And I already am, but I don't want to let myself hold back because of that. Because I already did the last 4 years, and now I want to be excited. They have all the investments being made over the past years. Teams have so grown. Now it's time to harvest. They need to deliver, or else I'm gonna go full pony.
It's trying to get the balance, because you don't want to have your expectations so high that they couldn't ever possibly fulfill it. They could release or show you AAA game banger after again and again and again, but your expectation is so high that's not good enough. But it's also we've like
give us a roadmap.
Wait for E3 is a meme for a reason.
Yes, exactly.
So, and I'm tired of it. I mean, for me anyway, E3 has always just been interesting because I always like to watch the PlayStation conference as well. But I've always it's always kind of like Xbox could have done better, do better. Even last year when PlayStation wasn't there, I think if PlayStation had been there, we'd have had a totally different conference. But they've kind of held back for now because they didn't want to proverbially blow their load.
The one thing that I hope PlayStation take out of the last gen and bring into the next gen is not continue to show conferences year on year on games that we've seen every year, and just show more of the same games at
the
conferences.
last one that they were at was pretty much just showing what they'd shown the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but they did that. Then the year before, it was showing off like teasers of the game that they showed that year, and then the year before that was a teaser of the same games, and then the year before it was like 3-4 years on the trot we'd seen the same games getting shown off. It was
and I mean I don't mind finding out about a game 2 or 3 years before it's
but then showing the same games over and over
every
again.
Year showing the same so like the Last of Us 2, if they'd shown it when they did and then waited till last year to then show it again, then that would have been fine. But it's the fact that you had 3 or 4 outings of it, plus their state of play, not their state of play. What's their XO?
I think they did. Well, I think it was state of play, wasn't it?
But they had their big celebration. They had their big celebration one, didn't they, in December?
Yeah,
that they showed as well.
But yeah, I think it's nice to have a roadmap to see what's coming, and I think that they didn't do it the last years because they couldn't do it. But now they have all the teams working on games, so that they can. And please show us gamers to be excited to choose Xbox again, right?
Yeah.
I really hope to do that.
I think even if you see what was said at last year's E3 conference, it was a case of we've already got people developing titles for Series X, and I think that's part of the reason they couldn't show anything, or they didn't have much to show, is because everybody was already focused on the next gen, when there was still a year and a bit to 2 years left of the current gen. But other than that, I mean, I did quick calculations there for you, Erwin, just to kind of boil down as to what we can potentially expect.
Yes, so great, mate.
If you're taking 10 to 15 minutes off, let's say if they are going to do that long for Halo Infinite gameplay, if you're taking that out of the hour allotment and they are just solely focusing on games and not really showing any other announcements and potentially not really speaking to the developers that much throughout it, then you're talking, if you anywhere between 2 and 3 minute segments for each game. That's anywhere between 15 and 20 games additional to Halo.
Yeah.
So
I think we're going to see more of.
And that's between 2 minutes and 3 minutes per section, and that would give enough time, in my opinion, to show off a little bit of gameplay for each.
No.
Yeah.
But not overdo it. Like I say, we've seen what 15 minutes of Watch Dogs looks like, and we don't need another overblown segment like that where it's just too much gameplay.
No. I think the Sony show was really nice, also with the graphics that they used. In the show, like the whole presentation. Yes, so I really like that, and I really hope to do something like that. And not the Inside Xbox that they did in May, with all the shitty webcams and stuff like that.
And I think they made a joke out of that as well with Aaron, though, didn't they? They said,
No, he had the refrigerator on the background, and I sent him a private message, and I said, "Man, you're crazy," but it was funny. It was funny as hell, man, because it looked really good. But the professional scene, like the presentation that Sony had, and even Ubisoft, was so much more professional. And I think they need to show that, and I think they will, because they got the backlash for it from the May show. And then for sure they will improve on that part, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Getting surprised tomorrow, so
that's the key thing for
I'm
you.
excited.
Sean, what are you looking forward to? What is your key thing?
I know I joke a lot about Splinter Cell, but I would like to have a decent stealth game with a good story. Whether that be the rumored Joanna Dark thing, or just a completely different. I think the stealth genre has just disappeared for some reason. Even with like Metal Gear Solid, that's gone by the wayside as well. Although I still think Splinter Cell is a better stealth game. I just like stealth games. They're right up my alleyway, and so I'd like something like that. But similar to you, it's really hard to say. I want the unexpected in a way.
Yeah.
I want to be able to come out of that going, oh my goodness, I did not see that coming. That was
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah,
Cannot wait
yeah,
for
exactly
cannot
like
wait
that.
for so it's hard to say. I mean, I can't really predict anything, but I certainly want to be left a moment of, oh my goodness.
Yes, that your mouth open and like.
Yeah.
I think the rumors that we've seen so far, and at least some of the kind of talk that I've heard and things like that, is a lot of the things that we're expecting is probably going to be there, but there are one or two things that nobody expects. I think Fatal even alluded to that before. There's one or two things that nobody spoke about so far. Nobody's mentioned.
I want the same reaction I had was when they showed the Hellblade 2 thing, where I was like,
Oh,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, nobody expected that. Nobody expected that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But everybody loved it, and that trailer was so well put together. The music was perfect. The trailer itself was perfect. The fact that it was running real time. If you have a look at the development cycle behind the original Hellblade, I mean, anybody who's actually looked at anything behind how that was created anyway, know the capabilities of that studio and their facial animations and their crafting abilities and how much effort and love they put into that first game was really well translated. And if anybody knows that studio, has looked into how that studio developed that game originally, then there was no doubt when you see in that trailer that the capabilities of that game for Hellblade 2 or what was shown was well within the reality realms for that studio.
Yeah.
True.
It's gonna be really close how they looked in the trailer for sure.
Oh yeah.
I have no doubt about it.
Potential to look for it to look better. To be honest, let's face it, it's not. That's just a little teaser. That's not. We haven't seen anywhere near its development cycle yet, and that was when was that showing off last year?
Yeah, but Hellblade is already out for a couple of years, and Hellblade 1 to 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, but that was with a team of 10 people. Well,
yes,
20
and
people.
now I think maybe now they're in the third year also, with multiple people. So they're probably like maybe 75% done. I don't see it as a launch title.
Ninja Theory have quadrupled their staff. They've got 111 people now on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So I see it launching then next year, but for sure we're gonna see some gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I can't remember who said it on what podcast, but I think it was Fonz actually. I don't want to see passion projects.
No.
Yes and no, because you will limit the developer also because the name says it all. It's a passion project. So maybe for them it's a really big passion. Maybe for us or for you and me it's also different. But I think you should give the developer a chance to give a passion project, and maybe the passion project will be nice. Maybe the next passion project won't be a grounded, but really maybe a stealth game that you want. So I don't think we should limit. But I think we shouldn't limit developers going after passion project.
Well, what I mean by that is I don't mean that they shouldn't have a passion, but I just don't think it should be shown tomorrow. Whether that be they've got 5
depends, man.
XO, I don't mind. Depends. I just want.
They make if they show off a Splinter Cell lookalike, let's say.
Yeah, and that's a passion project. That's not going to be a passion project. When I mean passion project, a small group of people who've been gone. Yeah, you can do that. Unless they've hired that guy from the.
Yes, that single guy, man.
That single guy, yeah. I mean, that's a passion project. I'm not opposed to a passion projects coming into the Xbox fold of games. It's just tomorrow I want.
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from. Yes, I don't want to see a grounded. I don't want to see a grounded 2.
Yeah, where you've got 5 people kind of going, yes, this is what we made, and we've passionate. And I'll go for it, if that's what you want. But tomorrow, wait until August or XO if they have an XO.
Yeah. Correct.
I've got to agree with that. I mean, one of the things we've got to take away from it as well, I suppose, before we kind of bring it into the show is thankfully we know that they're not going to be showing off or talking about tech aspects outside of showing off what games can do, etc. We're not going to talk about Series S or the rumored Series S Lockhart They're not going to be talking about pricing, which I think a few people are upset about, but it's kind of it to be expected. They want to focus on games. They're not going to be talking about hardware. They're not going to be talking about services. It is just solely on games. I think that's one of the focuses that we can take out of that, is that whatever we see tomorrow, it is just games. We're not going to be having. We know that, and games. We know that we're not going to see or be bored of or be interrupted with all of these trailers with information about services or hardware or anything like that.
How many they've subscribed,
Exactly.
they've got, how many they've sold.
Yeah.
It's a pie chart.
No, it's just passion project after passion project.
Volcano High 1, 2, 3 anthology.
Yeah, all of them at the same time.
But mega hyped, guys. Mega hyped. Mega.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm quite happy because it's but you've got the presentation before with Jeff Keighley, which I'll watch, but Jeff Keighley does me head in. I just find him annoying.
Yeah, but he's not too bad actually. He's just a Sony pony, but he's a journalist.
I think he comes across as a little bit smug sometimes.
No, he's not. He's really. I met him in real life, and
he's probably a cool guy.
He's really nice. He's really honest, true guy. But you see the passion he has for PlayStation. He doesn't have for Xbox. That's just the truth there is, and there's nothing bad about it. He's just doing his job. But you see that he's more passionate. You see the twinkling in his eyes, like you're in love with a beautiful girl, and then you see the twinkling in your eyes, right? He has that with PlayStation. Yes, with the controller, man. Maybe he's picking up his ass also. I don't know, but you know, he's blowing it also. You saw him blow the controller also. But you know, it's just business for easy. Just the Xbox
Microsoft
business.
Be happy with him.
Yes, exactly.
For it, so
yes,
he just one of those. He just irritates me a little bit. That's all. But yeah, that starts at 3 o'clock, isn't it, for us?
4 o'clock.
4. Yeah, for us it's 5.
5 p.m. over here.
5 p.m. Yeah.
4 for the pre-show. Then we've got the main conference at 5, and then post-conference, as announced by Jeff today, with Aaron Greenberg.
With Aaron,
straight after. So there's a pre, then show, then post. And I think there's going to be a few announcements at pre and a couple at post, as well as the main announcements during the show. So
I expect Aaron maybe to tell a bit more about the Xbox Live thing that is going on.
Yeah,
the Xbox Live Gold, but yeah, maybe we discuss it next week because it will be a very long show for today. It's already late over here, so we'll talk about it next year. next week.
Yeah,
11:30 right now.
Yeah, exactly. Same to 10:30 here. Yeah, just to wrap that up. Of course, thanks everyone for coming to join me today for this extremely long first podcast that we've got going on there. It's a good 2.5 hours for a starter. So I think
didn't expect that, but
good effort by everybody.
Thanks for inviting me. Thanks, Drew. It was really nice. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I say, we'll have plenty time after tomorrow to really think about what we saw and get good kind of ideas and thoughts together. Because initially we're going to be shocked, we're going to be happy, sad, angry. Yeah. There's initial things, and then we're going to.
I don't hope to be angry. You know, like. That's one thing I don't want to be after a show. So
exactly. Well, you hope not, but it could be that, for instance, to tease something don't properly or something that's going to kind of
maybe disappointed rather than angry.
Forza Motorsport without pit stops, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to be slamming keyboards.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing that you need to be worried about, right?
Yeah.
No pit stops in Forza.
No pit stop animations. Yeah. If they're not gonna do it, then it's a shit show.
Forza where you can get out of the car and run around the pit.
Yeah. Hey, and thanks for the chat. Thanks for the chat also for the guys. Better Man was in the chat for a long time. Shout out to those guys as well, man. Really appreciate it for watching us.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining in. We'll be back probably the same time next week. I don't think we're not going to have anywhere near as many topics to go over, thankfully. But we've covered quite a lot tonight. We've covered kind of obviously basic introductions for all the panel members. We then went into talk between Ubisoft, PlayStation, all the different ones. And then finally talking about the Xbox event.
Yeah.
So we covered a lot of topics tonight. So thanks everybody for sticking around for 2.5 hours here. But next week we'll be covering kind of basic all the fallout and all the happy times that are coming out of the next conference.
Yeah, man.
Bedtime. Okay, man.
Yeah, it is.
Have a good night. Boom.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, thank you everybody for joining.
Have a good night.
See you all next week.
Have a good night, man.
John, later, dude.
Guy. Thanks, Sean.
See you,
guys.
Bye,
See you, Patjeuh. See you, man.
Yes.
Bye now.
Bye.